Woof whoop, everybody in the house tonight. Woof whoop, woof whoop, woof whoop, everybody in the house tonight. Woof whoop, woof whoop, yeah. My girl, you make my heart go giddy up. You're as sweet as candy. You are my sugar daddy.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Afternoon edition, Garrett and Steve show. Join us later, 4 p.m. Our guest, Dave Landau.
Yeah. We're going to just kind of sit here till 4.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say. I can't wait till Dave's here
Uh-huh.
so I can point at his book and be like, you know, you're a real fucking piece of shit. Something wrong with you,
How
boy.
do you live with yourself?
God damn you.
Oh, my God.
God damn, the lives you've ruined.
For real.
Poor Mac.
For everyone.
I mean, poor everyone in that fucking book.
God, the amount of people that have died indirectly or directly around him. It's just like, it's not even he's a piece of shit, but just like the life that he lived at that time was just so depressing. The whole just nonstop death and
Oh,
destruction.
it's depressing to you? I'm only halfway through the book, so everything's still fun and games.
Oh, we wait to hear about how his grandma helped someone commit suicide. And the nurse taking care of him committed suicide.
Yeah, so far the Dave in the book I'm reading up to, he's just a 16-year-old fucking drug addict.
Yeah.
A piece of shit. But it's all been fun and games so far. Just a lot of other people's lives getting fucked up and property damage and whatnot.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
no one's died yet. Not in any part I'm up to.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's still
Well, someone
alive.
almost died in the first chapter.
In the very first chapter, someone almost dies. Yeah. But he lives.
But yeah, whatever. It's fine.
I've almost died. You know, I was in the street and a car went by really fast. I almost died.
I didn't know he had I guess I knew he had a twin brother, but I never saw him. It never comes up.
It never comes up, and it seems like the twin brother was like normal.
Yeah.
And didn't really want anything to do with Dave and his shenanigans.
Yeah, he doesn't really pop up in the book besides like also my twin brother had a car that I borrowed or something like that.
Yeah, and he went to his girlfriend's house and was normal while I did drugs and stole car stereos. But yeah, I can't wait. But the stuff he described, like a lot of it, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's just good fun. I've lived similar, like he was further down the line of degeneracy than I ever got to, but I was in the neighborhood just doing drugs and being an asshole type things.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was never, my whole childhood was none of that stuff. I was always like afraid of even like drinking or drugs. Or my big thing was my dad found like a Godzilla lighter my brother left in his room, and I found it and brought to my room. And I guess he was like snooping around my room and found it.
Invasion of privacy.
And I think he like talked to my brother and was like, I think Garrett's smoking pot or something like that.
Invasion of privacy, Dad.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't even mean in my teen years. When I was a teenager, the worst thing I ever did was drink.
Uh-huh.
I mean, like in my mid to late 20s, I got into the drugs.
Yeah.
I forget that he was like 15.
He was already sober by his mid-20s.
Yeah, by his mid-20s, he'd already sobered up after living a really hard and fast life.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit. Unbelievable.
For real. Well, I guess we'll get into that later when he joins us.
We'll remind him how much a piece of shit he is when he gets here. Yeah, sorry, we're a tad bit late today. I'm all out of whack, all out of sorts because I had to take an over an hour pit stop at the car wash because a firing squad of birds decided to unleash on my car between last night and this afternoon.
You should go to the tree that you were parked under and just cut off all the limbs, just so it doesn't happen again.
Fucking burn it down. When I see birds in it, I should burn the tree.
Yeah, yesterday, getting into your car, and I opened the door, and the outside the door, the shit must have hit at the perfect angle because it was 6 inches long, a bird shit. It just like hit the perfect side of it and just scraped down, and it's
They were
mosaic of
practicing
shit.
painting on my car because it clearly like hit the side at such an angle that it just scorched the entire. And everywhere it hit, there were these just huge piles of bird shit. It must have been turkeys, honestly.
I saw turkeys like this week or last week, just walking where the bus stop is.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were here in Staten Island.
When I was walking Edie after one of the shows this week, I think it was Tuesday night, I saw a turkey in a fucking tree, and it was terrifying because I'm just walking up to it.
They go in trees? I didn't even know that. Oh, so maybe it was a turkey.
Yeah, it had to be, dude. These were like man-sized piles of white shit all over the fucking car. And I should have stopped parking there because I live in an apartment thing. So when you get a spot, you're like, ooh, lucky, I got a spot near my fucking apartment. So after I dropped you off last night, I was happy, like, oh, I got my spot back, even though the car already had been hit by a fucking paintball gun, basically. Parked it there again. Parked it a third time. I dropped Caitlin off this morning, and I parked it there a third time. And it was when I went to go drop Charlie off after around noon, or I was just like, I got to go to the car wash. This is insane. The car has a new color. I have a black car that's now just almost white. It didn't make sense how much bird shit was on this fucking car. But yeah, the turkeys are in the tree. Like the other night when I was walking the dog, it scared the shit out of me because I just look up and about 10 feet above my head is just this giant lump in the tree with its head down, just looking at me. And I was just like, ah, it's horrifying because they're fucking huge.
I didn't even.
It's like a dog in the tree.
Yeah,
the dog-sized bird in the tree.
I know, but I've never seen one fly.
And by the way, didn't take a photo for content. Somehow it didn't cross my mind to take a picture of all this poop.
Yeah.
Usually I'm kind of good with that stuff where I'm like, oh, let me show everyone how. But I was just so blown away because it was like this problem that kept building. And every time I went to my car, I'm like, what the fuck? How is there more than there already was a ton? So yeah, I had to get my car washed. It took way longer than it should have. The guys did a good job. No more bird shit, but everything was.
Well, if a bird shits
that.
on you, it's good luck.
That's the luckiest car. That is kiss the Blarney Stone lucky fucking car. I cannot. I was beside myself. I had other shit I was supposed to do today that I didn't even get done because I'm just like sitting at a car wash, watching the three brothers that own Three Brothers Car Wash take their time getting all the bird shit off.
Wait, it doesn't just like go through the rotor thing, the rotor-rooter thing, I want to call it, but it's not that.
It's a hand wash.
Really?
Yeah, real attention to detail.
You're a fancy man.
It's the closest thing around here. And I figured, because I'm stupid, like, oh, this will be quick. And it's right by my house. It'll be super quick.
But there was just so much shit on it. They had to take their time.
They had to individually with a tiny spray bottle go up to each little blob of shit and go like wipe it off. No, there was just like someone in front of me. And then because it's a hand wash, it took them like half hour, 45 minutes to wash one car. God. And I don't want to complain because they were nice. And I got in the car and I was like, holy shit, it looks brand new.
They did the inside too?
They did everything. And I was like, okay, I'm not upset. It's sparkling, but that could have been quicker.
Seems so old-fashioned, the hand wash car.
An old-fashioned hand job.
Yeah.
It is old-fashioned, but it's better than sending it through the machine.
Really?
I think so. I don't really know, actually.
That's the thing. Like, I feel like they just invest probably a few $100,000 to get the machine, but then you could do 7 times the amount of cars per day.
Yeah, that seems to be the problem. The other thing is, there's a car wash I usually go to that's by the McDonald's. No reason to bring that up or why I go to the car wash over there. But they had another hand washing place. They had a line that was out into the street, like backed up out. Like you had to swerve around them to keep going straight down the road. And I'm like, well, I'm not getting my car. I'm in a rush. I'm not getting my fucking car washed here.
So you have more than one hand washing places on the
2 minutes away from each other.
What?
I get when the good one's packed out, you go to the other one, and it takes an equal amount of time.
At least one of them should have like, cheerleaders out front that wash your car in bikinis or something.
Well, this place had a dumpster and trash everywhere.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
So I got to kind of like sift around the trash
Cool.
look for,
Find any gold in there?
like I was looking for doubloons. No, I didn't find anything in there. I had to keep moving from one side to the other side of this, nowhere to sit. And because I was standing next to a car, like, oh, we're getting to this one now. I'm like, okay, I'll go over there. Oh, now we're coming over here with a van and we're gonna spray it with the hose. I'm like, okay, I'll go back over where I just was standing.
Fun morning.
Again, I was, if they weren't just the nicest guys ever, I might have lost my mind in that fucking place. But they were super nice. I'm just like, you guys, do whatever, take your time. It's fine.
They all look like each other, like you could tell they're brothers.
First of all, I don't know which of the fucking 6 Arabs were brothers.
Oh, they're Arabs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they must have all been related. Yeah.
You know the Arabs, they're all inbred. According to Gavin McInnes.
Yeah, I know that. They're all inbred wiggers.
Oh.
That's something I've noticed, at least in New York. Like Middle Eastern culture here is just black culture. Like they're all wearing like Jordans and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's all the time. If you see the guys that run delis and like smoke shops in Staten Island, usually Middle Eastern fellows, and usually wearing Jordan and like dressed very urban.
Maybe it's just because they see their clientele and they're like, oh, that must be the style. I'm gonna dress like these guys.
I think that's just hip hop culture is like cool American culture. So if you're not, born in a fucking white dipshit family wearing polos, you automatically go to that because that's what's on TV. That's what's cool. Because either that or you're wearing like turbans and shit in your pajamas all day. So I think,
you stick out like a sore thumb kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. As an Americanized person, you wear FUBU. That's what's cool.
Or the WWE. That's cool too in Arab nations.
All fight sports are being bought out by Saudi Arabia. Boxing, the UFC had the Fight Island deal over there in Abu Dhabi. WWE is now huge because that company that owns the WWE and UFC, I think, is Arab Emirates.
Wait, one company owns both of them?
Yeah.
Really? Because they forced McMahon to sell, or there was some like sexual scandal and he sold just
I don't know if he was forced to sell. I think
just to be safe.
Yeah, I think maybe he knew it was coming.
Yeah,
coming. Him over some girl who's covered in human shit. I don't remember exactly what the circumstances to the WWE sell were, but basically this company is just oil billionaires that were like, we want to own this because we like it.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, thank you for paying us more money that we thought existed. We'll sell you our fight sport.
How dead is boxing?
Mega dead.
Right?
Mega death. It suffered a mega death.
Like it was pretty dead when the Klitschko brothers were, but at least I knew their names and like their fights would come on and I wouldn't even watch it, but like I'd see the results. Now I just don't hear anything about boxing. I don't even know who's the heavyweight champion. Is it? It's not like Tyson Fury, is it?
No, the guy he fought, I think, the fucking Ukraine guy. I can't remember his fucking name.
Yeah.
Borshka.
Something like that?
No. It's some other. I can't even. I'm not going to look it up because I think to improve our memories, Garrett, we have to stop succumbing to just Googling every little thing we can't remember.
But that's why our memories that's partially why our memories.
It's exactly because we don't need to actually remember it. We don't have to force our brain to use the avenues in it to activate and fucking remember stuff. We're just like, after a split second of, I don't remember. Now I know it in this moment. Click out of that tab. I now again don't know what I just looked up.
Yeah, like a few days ago, I saw some video. It was like the next Mike Tyson. And I was like, oh, I should probably remember his name. I'm like, oh, no, I could just Google, I could just search it when I want to know it. And now I want to know it, but I don't know it. I just put it like, oh, I'll just figure it out when I want to find it out. But no. But this guy was like 19 years old and he was knocking people out and they were like spinning around and falling down. Like it was just, his punches are crazy. So hopefully boxing has some sort of comeback.
That's what it needs to come back, is somebody who breaks the sport essentially.
Yeah.
because it's, you know, it's the sweet science. It's a lot of but Tyson made it the most exciting sport in the world to watch because it was, oh, the guy's gonna die. He's gonna fight a guy and kill him. He's gonna punch him so hard he's gonna die. And I want to watch that. That went away, and now it's back to the number one fighter during the decline and death of boxing was Money Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather, yeah.
And his entire style was
not to get hit.
This fight's gonna go 55 rounds, and it's gonna look like I'm doing nothing the whole time.
I'm never gonna get hit. I'll hit him a few times and win by kind of decision.
Yeah.
But you know, and it's not even a close fight because I never get hit and I can punch him whenever I want. But still, it's kind of boring. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was never huge into boxing to begin with, but after Tyson bit Holyfield's ear, and
yeah, that kind of was the start of the decline.
It was just, there was no, because you know, the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, that trilogy was the biggest thing in boxing, and at the time at least. And I didn't watch it.
Yeah, me either.
A lot of people
know the results of it, like who won the matchup. I'm
pretty sure Tyson Fury got 2 out of 3 of those.
Okay.
Because I only remember one of them because Deontay Wilder would wear these retarded get-ups to the ring where he was dressed like a fucking transformer with like all this big light up helmet and this huge outfit, and he got his ass whooped by Tyson Fury, and he said, I was exhausted because of my walk-in outfit and my whole show and dance I put on. I was so tired I couldn't win the fight. That's why I lost. And it's like, if that even, first of all, I doubt that's the real reason. I think he just beat you. Second, if that was the real reason, I wouldn't say it. That doesn't make you.
It was all your decision.
Like someone I identify with as like, oh man, he got a rough deal. Makes you seem like a fucking retard. I keep that to myself.
That's why Tyson was so great. He would just no get up, no nothing, no socks, just wear his shorts and just come out and walk out, and no hoopla around them. Because he just knew it was all about him.
Yeah.
Everyone was just there to see him knock someone's lights out.
To maybe kill them. My favorite entrance of his was he was wearing the black shorts and nothing else, just, you know, coming out like a murderer. And instead of a song playing, he just had this noise blaring through the speakers that was extremely unsettling. Oh, yeah. It was just this, wah! And it was his whole entrance. He's in the ring. He's standing there. And there's just blasting throughout the entire arena. And it was a noise that we said it was like supposed to make you feel nauseous and uneasy.
Oh,
and he was like, I'm fucking with his mind, playing fucking mind games.
What was it, the poo tone, or what was it in South Park?
The brown note.
Brown note, yeah.
It might have been it was the black note. It was a big scary black man's coming in here to beat the shit out of your note. We have a couple super chats here. A couple yellow pay and say, Bernie G from Down Under. What's more shocking, Dave's origin story or Jimmy Norton's?
Not even close.
Yeah, Jim Norton's is way gayer.
Way gayer.
And way more molested.
But I want to say Norton's was only like one incident, really.
It was, yeah, I think he had a couple incidents of like being drunk and being embarrassing.
Yeah.
But not getting drunk and high on drugs and just being
I never
like
really heard
a legitimate criminal.
And I want to say, like, it seemed like Norton started drinking at 17, found out he was a drunk at 18 and stopped.
Yeah.
Or something close to that. Yeah.
Dave clocked more years. Just seeming
he started at 13 or 14.
And it seems like just every day he was fucked up on something. He was quite a bit of a junkie.
Like, I don't know. I've never really heard many Artie stories about his drug use, but it seems like Dave's overshadow him by far.
Yeah. Not in, just in like the kind of trouble he would get into, because he would get into ridiculous trouble and fuck things up massively. Artie seemed like a worse, like over time drug user because he
himself up,
never stopped.
Yeah,
he just would keep getting arrested for possession. Not, you know, he wasn't crashing his car. I mean, he already had a few incidents. He got arrested a bunch of times for doing fucked up shit. But I think especially He just lasted longer in the game.
Definitely.
And his arrests were, after a certain point, all just possession of heroin, possession of coke.
Yeah, I can't imagine if Dave just kept it up. He'd probably be better than Artie.
Better. Yeah, that's a word for it. You mean fucking dead?
Deader than
Yeah,
Artie.
he'd be super dead.
Super dead.
No fucking way. Or yeah, he'd just be really good at being a junkie.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of three things happens.
I mean, yeah, Artie was pretty good at it for a while. Co-host of Howard Stern show, had his own show, all while being high and fucked up constantly.
He was honestly living the dream. A fucking multi-million-dollar ha-ha job where you just clock in the morning, leave before noon, and then just go home and do drugs. Go do coke and heroin all night. Yay.
Yeah.
Up, down, all until, and just millions of dollars to do it with.
And then at any time he wanted, he could go do a comedy show and get hundreds of thousands of dollars just for doing that too.
I don't know if it was that high, but I'm sure it was up there.
I'm sure. Yeah, it had to be, right? Because he would sell out when he was on Howard Stern. He'd definitely sell out 1,000, 2,000 seat theaters or something, you know?
Yeah, if you got, you can pull it off.
Mhm.
The what was it? Keith Richards? I think they say that he regularly did heroin, but he had like a doctor help him.
Yeah.
So he would take drugs to get off of it and then take more heroin or whatever the fuck he had worked out with a licensed physician. But it's like, yeah, if you're rich and famous enough, you can live the best dream anyone's ever had.
Yeah. Like Michael Jackson, right? He had the fucking go to sleep doctor.
So the propofol doctor. I'm sure he was doing other shit other than just propofol.
I'm guessing, yeah.
And morphine and any.
Sure.
What a dream. just do smack.
I wonder
and not OD and die in a fucking public bathroom.
I wonder what Artie's schedule was like during Howard Stern. Like, was he going to bed early and waking up to go do the show, or was he up all night and then once he finished the show you have to get some sleep?
If I had to guess.
Yeah, if you had to guess.
I would say, he would. I don't know. He would probably stay up because the thing with junkies is you stay up late no matter what.
Yeah.
But he probably, since he had such an early start every day, his late was maybe earlier than normal, like around 1 a.m. or something. But if you have just this, surplus of drugs all the time because you have all this money to blow on it, I think what you do is you set an alarm, you wake up, and you do coke.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's how you get through the day.
Uh-huh.
And then when you're done, you go do some more heroin. And you do some coke, and then you do some heroin, and do some coke, and do some heroin. You just play, you juggle with your heart's capabilities to keep you alive. And then you go back to work the next day and do more coke.
Yeah, because I guess he didn't have to get, I'm sure Howard had to get there earlier, but he already could show up at 5:55 or probably later. I don't know if they started at 6 o'clock. Yeah, I don't know.
Luckiest guys in the world. I can't believe Howard didn't do heroin. He saw how much fun Artie was having.
Yeah.
How do you resist? And he was like 10 times richer than Artie. Artie was a millionaire, and Howard was a fucking billionaire.
Yeah.
Howard at one point was making $200 million a year from, I think, Sirius. And I think
was it that much? I thought it was $100 million.
Yeah, after a certain amount of subscribers, it was like a $200 million swing. So he could have done a lot of heroin if he wanted.
Instead, he just made a cat sanctuary in his house and had his wife
and just became the biggest homosexual known to man. I don't know how he made that swing. Like willingly. Like, what the fuck?
Do you think
the CIA got to him and were like, we need you to be nice now?
I want to say it was more just like he wanted to get more mainstream guests, and to do that you have to kind of tame yourself down and then toe the line politically and things like that. But then all of a sudden these bigger guests, because
why do you want these bigger guests? You made $200 million calling Rosie O'Donnell a bitch, cunt, whatever. Now you want her on the show? Why?
But how long can you live off of High Pitch Eric and all the other rat packers or whatever
Till
they
you
were called.
die.
I guess so.
You can always find more weirdos.
But you know, just like
And plus, celebrities would go on the show. It's not like he had a problem getting guests. Maybe like he would have a problem getting Barack Obama on the show at that point, which thank God he got Barack on.
Yeah,
but like he still got like Jennifer Aniston and
I think that was after.
oh, was that after?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he had, you know, like Penn Jillette would come on, which is kind of a sort of a big celebrity or at the time, but not like A-listers. He didn't really get A-listers, you know, or
Who cares?
I know, no, that's the thing too.
Why do you need like I don't get the appeal of that. If you're already making like insane money, then my idea with A-listers is if you can get them on your show, that means your show is going to be huge and you're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So like, why would you go? That to me is like going backwards. Like you already have the winning formula. Why'd you go back to something you don't even need?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just maybe he got tired of the whole, you know, shock jockery kind of was dying.
I think that's more. Yeah, he just saw that.
Yeah.
In order to survive and continue making the amount of money he was making, he had to transition from a man to a woman, and also from shock jockery to celebrity bullshit.
Celebrity ass kissing, yeah.
Ball licking, nub touching. We have a couple more super chats.
Super Chad.
The hallway chiming in. Caitlin Conti. Fancy moves for at least Hyundai. Well, only the best for the Hyundai.
Yeah.
Tucson. I forgot what model I had for a moment there. I almost said Santa Fe. I have the smaller one. Yeah, of course. I think any car. The car that was in there before mine was a scratched up, shitty Honda Civic. So, you know, if you care about your car, it doesn't matter what make or model.
Yeah.
As long as it's covered fucking hood to trunk in bird shit, you got to get that thing hand washed and taken care of.
And when was the last time you had it cleaned?
A couple months ago.
Okay, so yeah, it deserved it.
I've been shirking my duties as far as car washing. God, it might have even been more than a couple months ago because it got cold, and every time I went to go get it washed or thought like, oh, I'm gonna get the car washed today or tomorrow, there would be some weather thing and salt and fucking. Yeah, and I was just like, I'm not bothering. It's gonna look worse after I get it washed. But yeah, no, of course, honey. Only the best for our Hyundai.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Guy Markham. Hey, Guy.
What's up, Guy?
How's being home treating you? Caught the end of Luby's show. Slid into her DMs. You guys can be bridesmaids.
Yeah, we saw Luby gave us a little update.
She sent us a group text.
About
your DM slide.
Yeah, we're hi Luby. I honestly don't know when I'll next be in America, but when I am, I'd gladly take you out for a day on the bike.
And I wrote Mazel Tov.
And then I wrote back, you're gonna ride his hog.
Yeah. And
she wrote,
said,
ew.
Yeah, bad news. She wrote ew.
But I think because she's foreign and she doesn't know hog means motorcycle.
I think she knew what you meant.
I meant this motorcycle.
No.
Yeah.
You were doing a little that double entendre. Double entendre. What you meant was motorcycle, but mainly fucking cock.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna ride that hog. That's what you meant. Real Yetzer hurrah.
Motorcycles must just be like a vibrator for women, no?
I would think.
Right.
It's a big Sibian.
Just vibrating in between your legs the whole time. How do you not?
But after like, I don't know, how long can you ride on the thing? Like imagine jerking off for an hour straight. Eventually you're just like, all right, enough. It doesn't feel good anymore. Can we pull this thing over? You just there's no feeling anymore. It hurts. Please get me off of this thing. But yeah, Guy, maybe you can take her for a nice motorcycle ride through India.
Ooh.
I think Luby would enjoy that.
Or maybe start a motorcycle tour in Montenegro.
Ooh, that's an idea. The Montenegro motorcycle boys.
Go up the mountain and back.
Yeah. Mountain Negroes. Love motorcycles. Well, anywho.
Yeah.
I have a couple things before Dave arrives that I would like to get to. The first was, did you know that there's, of course you know, it's your thing, but I didn't know that there's a Garrett Andritz annual cat show every year.
For me? Is the show for me or I host it?
It's, yeah.
Or it's in my honor?
Both. You
Okay.
host a cat show in your honor.
Uh-huh.
And it's not a cat show to see like what cats have the best coat or can do tricks or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
It's to see who has the most feral, shitty pet of a cat in the world. And you selected this year's winner, and
Let's see
I'm
it
actually
then.
surprised you didn't, you weren't a victim of your own nepotism. You didn't select your own cat, Mr. Maloonigan.
Uh-huh.
And hold on, before we get to your cat show, Tokes 1201S has a very important question for Guy. Do you think Luby Wazzle's on the first link?
Wow, definitely.
Oh yeah,
She would for Guy at least.
totally.
Yeah.
She's not Canadian, but Montenegrins and Canadians probably speak the same slang. No, that's Des. That's Des as hell. JJ22. 22 hook.
Yeah.
God, I can't remember anymore.
Two
Slang.
twos, not 22s.
Oh, two
Two
twos.
twos.
Two twos.
You Gerbert.
Ah, Gerbert. That's the one I couldn't think of. Yeah, no, because Guy, he ain't no Gerbert. So Luby's gonna wazzle on the first link for show. No bop.
You got it, fam.
Bam, bam, no bop, you damn. Canadians. I wish we did worse to them than just fucking, making Trudeau a little pissy. Should have just went to war.
Just make them the 51st state already and let them cry about it.
And kick out anyone that talks like that. Send them to fucking Mexico.
El Salvador.
Yeah, Trump's concentration camp.
God, the whole big thing about this guy. Send him there, but then bring him back. And who the fuck cares? This Maryland man.
It's something to latch on to
I
be
guess
like, is there's, other than the economy eating a big bowl of shit, there's not much else. He hasn't done a lot of other like controversial.
No, you're right.
Like in the news every fucking 5 minutes things.
I feel like they're trying to push out the Trump's going to run for a third term and they're going to figure out a way to do a thing. Just try to be a distraction from anything. But it's like, he's not even doing anything else that you really need a distraction from.
And I think most people wouldn't, unless it's a third term where he doesn't get voted in, wouldn't vote for that because it's like, dude, no.
It's elite. You can't do it.
We're not bending the fucking entire American system for you, especially because I'm not rich yet. Maybe if by 2027 I have $5 billion in my account, and not everyone else does it, and it's directly because of the president, I'll be like, he needs to have 10 more terms. I don't care how he does it. Sure.
But they keep teasing like, hey, if these tariffs bring in enough money, we'll get rid of income tax. It's like, no, you won't.
Yeah, right.
You won't.
We'll get rid of all the free money we take from your fucking bitch asses. Yeah, I doubt it. I highly doubt. They're fucking. I gotta read the thing Caitlin sent me because I didn't read it yet. But from what she told me, the cameras that they have everywhere, the speed cameras that if you go 5-6 miles over the speed limit, which is 25, you get a $50 ticket in the mail.
Yeah.
And you get to fucking scream and cry and go fucking insane. Apparently, and they're only doing it in one place in Staten Island. Guess where it is?
Terrace Lane or whatever.
Yeah, where I drive you every fucking day after the show. And she didn't. If she did send it, I don't have the link. But apparently, they're experimenting with something called low speed zones. And they're going to drop the speed limit to 20 miles an hour and have the cameras register that if you're going over 20, you get a ticket in the mail.
Over 20, no leeway?
I'm sure there's going to be leeway, but I don't think they can say that. I don't know. I didn't read the article. I don't think she sent it to me. But I'm like, they're trying it in the only place I consistently drive. Can they fucking try it anywhere else? This fucking, by the way, obvious scam. It's just another what the local tax thing, the
congestion
pricing.
Yeah.
But instead of saying, well, we're just going to outright charge you for driving, they're pretty much doing that, but it's going to be a higher thing because it's a ticket.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a higher price. It's going to be $50 instead of just like a $16, $19 ticket.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
And they're trying it out by me.
There was something like on 3rd Avenue, they changed the light speed, you know, the way the lights turn green to, I guess it was at 30 miles an hour, where if you drove 30 miles an hour, the lights would keep turning green, to 10 miles an hour. So everyone just kind of, the lights turn green and you just slowly go and wait until the next, just to keep traffic slower and fuck people over more. I don't know.
Is everyone just supposed to be so mad they're about to get out their car and kill someone? Is that the idea?
No, they just don't want you driving cars. That's the idea.
I get that. Because it's obviously to make you go, well, I'm just going to take the bus or something. Like,
yeah.
Even though to me it actually makes no sense. But what is actually happening is there's not a single car off the road from this.
Just everyone gets madder.
Everyone gets angrier. People are paying more of this driving tax, essentially. So the government is just like, yeah, no, this is for everyone's well-being. Hold on, my pockets are full. I have to start putting it down my shirt. And they're just loading their fucking assholes with our money. But the most hilarious part to me is, I think there's some part of this like, oh, if everyone stops driving, the environment will be cleaner and the greenhouse gases from cars, everything's going to get better because there's less cars on the road, less emissions. But instead, what's happening is more cars are just going slower everywhere. So there's just more of the same.
They're spending more time with their engines on,
idling
to get places.
So there's actually more shit getting pumped out of cars into the air because they're on the road longer.
And the guy that makes the best electric car, they're all mad at him and
hate him
and trying to destroy his dealerships and everything.
People that if they bought a Tesla like 3, 4, or 5 years ago,
which 95% of the people did, right? Like if you own a Tesla now, most likely you bought it at least before the election.
Yeah. And honestly, there was probably a lot of fucking shit libs that were like, oh, cool, you know, great for the environment car. I'm part of the solution. You N-words are part of the problem. Because that's environmentalists call people. They call them the N-word.
Yes.
Now they're just randomly, their cars getting spray painted, keyed, fucking broken into. But I just wanted to help the environment. Getting swastikas sprayed on them. Oh, here it is. Staten Island Advance. SI Live. Where is it? Oh, that's Charlie playing with his toys. Thank you, iPhone, for not just automatically scrolling to the bottom.
What the fuck?
The new update for my phone has made things markedly worse. Markedly?
You open a text and it goes to the first text the person ever sent you?
If that's where I scrolled to before, which is what I did.
Oh.
4 slow zones in Staten Island. Rich, yep. 25-mile section. New Brighton's been selected. What the zone is bordered by okay.
Oh my God, that's
it's literally
that's the route I take on the bus.
Circle. Well, that's like my Instagram is just fucking nonsense. Anyway, well that didn't help me. But basically, I'm gonna have to just pay out the ass to drive back and forth to the ferry.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I don't know how we got to that. More importantly,
back to my cat show.
The Garrett Andrews annual memorial cat show in honor of Mr. Maloonians. This was this year's winner of most feral, unwanted cat in the house. And you'll be able to tell immediately why he's such a great cat.
Is back from lunch. We're starting with muscle pets, and we'd like to see 149 through 150.
All right, stop touching him so much. Yeah, get her. Good job. Wow, he's really kicking ass in this competition. Yeah, you show her it. You're number one.
They did
there
slow-mo.
You go.
They did slow-mo on the headshot. The headshot was what really put him over the top and had him win the whole tournament. Because other cats had attacked, but they do the stereotypical cling onto your leg, kind of bat at
or
you,
or just like hiss really loud.
Yeah.
Or something. No,
this fucker really batted the judge in the face. Punched her.
I need the owner now.
I need the owner now.
You need to be better at handling a cat, you
Yeah.
fucking dipshit. I wouldn't even apologize.
The thing was like,
there was second place.
He's like,
Snowy.
fuck, I should have thought of that.
Snowy from Michigan in second place.
But the thing was, like, when she was kind of petting it at first and then went underneath, she didn't read the cat's body language at all, where he kind of like turned to her and was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Stop touching me like that. Yeah. She was being very rough for dealing with a cat. They don't deal with that.
And cats have like hot zones where like if you touch right at the back of their tail or whatever, they don't like that.
We know you know about the cat's hot zone. You know, if you got it on your lap and you start just finger blasting it in the asshole, they don't always like that. Some cats do. Mine didn't. Under my bed for a month and a half.
And you know, she shouldn't be wearing cat ears either. That kind of annoys me. You're not taking this seriously. What are you doing?
That's some fucking real. That's like super insulting.
Yeah.
Like, if I was judging the dunk contest wearing blackface, it's really just like, what the fuck's your problem? You're not a cat. You don't have to wait. You're not fooling anybody with those fucking cat ears. You don't even know how to hold a cat. You pissed this one the fuck off.
Maybe this cat thought you were a cat with the cat ears. It was like, fuck, well, you were
you know
supposed
what?
to touch me.
They're like reindeer ears. They got little
Oh my
antlers
God, they
in the
are.
middle. This confused
She
woman.
couldn't even find real
Maybe
cat
she's
ears.
so rough she thinks she's judging a fucking reindeer. This is such a tiny reindeer. I don't think it's gonna win. I need the owner here. This reindeer just punched me.
Santa.
Yeah, this is like, already that spot on a cat where she's touching the belly. They're not a fan of.
No.
The fact that the cat's already not kind of bugging out is impressive. She should be impressed by this cat being like, oh wow, I'm fucking with it and it's not biting me.
Like right there.
Right there.
When it looks up at her and it's just like, it's like, all right.
I mean, just look at this freeze frame. She's holding it by the throat and it's looking up going, the fuck off.
Yeah, give it a little space after that moment.
Pet it like you've pet a cat before. You're judging the Garrett contest. But no, obviously, as we all know, since this is the contest for judging the most feral piece of shit cat, you have to antagonize it to see
That's a good point.
just how far it'll go.
After the video stopped, I heard he ran under the table and took a diarrhea shit. So that really sealed the victory for him.
The janitors for this event all just had multiple pizza dough scrapers in their fucking tool belt.
No, we're gonna
Owner. What is she even doing though? She looks like she's fighting it.
Yeah. She wasn't going to give in.
Like if the cat's getting wild, this is what you should be doing the whole time. Go up, owner, the cat. Put your hands up. Show the cat you're being like defenseless.
Yep.
And say, owner, come over here and grab this cat. It's being. Instead, she's look at her. She's grabbing at it. Shitty judge. A shudge.
The Cat Fanciers Association. That's what organization this is.
The cat fanciers. Where'd you see?
The sign. But back up.
Is that it?
Will you see that white sign?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
In Victoria, the Cat Fanciers Association. We know cats. I don't think you do.
I don't think you do. Yeah.
I don't know what animal you were trying to pet there because I don't even know if Edie would be cool with that, all that fucking belly and throat grabbing.
Edie likes the belly rubs though.
That's true. I take that back. She does love a good belly rub.
The cats only if they give you their belly. You rub their belly. Yeah.
Yeah, but even when the cat gives you the belly, it's for about
almost a
3
trick.
seconds.
Until they do the back leg.
Yeah, and they try to fucking scratch your veins open with their back legs in that little kick move. They're just practicing. They don't want you petting them. She looks at I fucking hate this lady. She's being a cunt.
Yeah.
Looking at the cat like.
Oh, look at the owner.
The cat in the background's great. But congratulations to Mr. Maloonigans too.
Yes.
Winner.
Glad.
Of Garrett Andrews' annual feral piece of shit cat contest.
I'm a cat fancier. That's me.
Cat Fancier Association. Now, did you see? Well, you must have seen it because it was the flyover pre-show for the Cat Fancier Association. because this was held at ASU, Arizona State University. Did you see this? When the ASU parachuters fell out, you know how before baseball games, football games, sometimes they'll have the Army helicopters or the planes do a flyover, and sometimes guys will fly in with their parachutes, with like an American flag on their back, and they land gently on the floor, and it's like, whoa, that's so impressive. I want to join the Army.
Remember that, like, I want to say 80s, early 90s, the guy that wasn't paid to do it and would do it, like he would somehow jump out of a plane above the arena. It was a boxing match or something, and he parachuted down and just landed right while they were boxing. It landed in the middle of a boxing match.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I don't know what his. I don't even think he was like protesting anything, or he just wanted to be a dick. And
just thought it was funny.
Yeah,
it is funny. Although at this point, I feel like that would be treated like some kind of terrorism.
Oh, definitely.
Landing an aerial maneuver on a fucking big public event like that, they might not take that too kindly.
Or like there was the I don't forget her name, but the woman with huge tits that would just jump on the baseball field and run toward the players and like, give me a hug. Yeah. And there was like a knockoff that used to go to
Knockers Off
to Jets games. And she was called Boomers.
Boomers?
Because Boomer Esiason was the quarterback for the Jets at the time. Yeah.
Boomers.
She didn't jump on the field, but she'd just be at the game with her big boobs shaking.
Boober Esiason. Wow. What a wonderful country.
But no, what happened?
That's not what happened here. What happened here is a very almost tragic flyover parachute landing. But luckily no one died, so it's just funny. But this was at an ASU baseball game. Hard landing, but that's okay. He's fine. The other guy landed fine. He's fine. He probably just broke his leg. He's fine. Don't worry. There's another guy coming.
All right.
The other guy, he's going to be totally fine. He's totally going to land right on his feet.
He went straight down. You got to do the flare move where you pull this parachute and you kind of start going sideways.
It was
parallel
windy
to the ground. I guess so.
I don't know, man.
This guy films like
both these guys are hurt.
I think both these guys are hurt. I don't know if they meant to do that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they both came down.
It looked like that first guy got like a compound fracture of his leg.
The second guy I thought was worse because he landed straight down.
He did.
The first guy, like his legs kind of splayed out. He definitely fucked something up, or maybe both legs. He like tore something. He definitely fucked something up. But the second guy is just straight. Like gravity fucked him and said, no, you're going down here at this moment. You're not going to get to glide into safety. And he probably, I don't know how you don't end up in the hospital with like 2 broken legs falling out of the sky like this. Boom.
I don't know. That one looked worse to me. The way his leg was kind of trying to go out to brace himself, but then it just caught on the grass.
Oh my God.
I don't know. No.
Poor little feller.
I think the game was delayed. The start of the game was delayed a little bit.
No, the ump was like, play ball! And they just played around the parachute guy who was laying on the field in agony. Poor guy. Just trying to show some patriotism, some hoo-ha, hoorah for the American military. And bam.
It's like they just picked a fan out of the stands and was like, you want to parachute down? Like someone that had no experience of what they were doing.
And speaking of having no experience of what you're doing, coming from a retard, I'm looking at this, I'm like, you couldn't just like send both your legs straight out and kind of slide. Yeah, kind of like just slide into the ground.
Yeah.
Obviously you can, or why wouldn't he have done it? But it's just the way he fall. Like it looks like he's trying to do that.
But you're probably going so fast, you don't want to just land right on your ass either.
Yeah.
You want to put your leg down and kind of cushion the blow.
And now, like, it actually, right here, it looks like that is what he's trying to do. He's got his legs out and he's trying to just kind of skid to a stop. And instead, kaboom. But the second guy,
It's like a stone.
Actually, the second guy, perfect landing. The third guy is the one who the wind really fucked him. This guy's fine. Oh no, this guy's bad.
This guy's bad.
There's another guy who
Oh.
landed. He was fine. I guess we don't see him.
And the clap in for him.
Yeah, America, USA, USA.
Now, I mean,
Ouch. He landed like Woody in Toy Story. His legs clunk.
I don't want to be a boomer, but
A boober?
but you got an American flag attached to you and you're landing on the ground. That's kind of disrespectful.
Disrespecting the flag.
Yeah.
It goes against all my American instincts.
You have to burn that flag in a
Burn the flag, burn the man.
in a
Court martial this
ceremony.
guy. The way he's going, look at his legs. He looks like he already broke his legs. And then
No, because he's got freaking American flag tied to his legs, and the wind's blowing the other way, and he can't even just pull them out.
the wind really fucked this whole thing up. Yeah, he can't just fucking like yank
No.
on his ropes there and that's got to be a good omen for the baseball season, though.
I guess so. Yeah, break a leg. Good luck.
If you start that way, it can only go up. It is opening day before the first pitch. There are military servicemen falling out of the sky onto the field. That's got to be a great thing. All right, let's go play baseball, guys. I hope those guys screaming in pain are okay.
Are we even sure they're military people, or they're just like the local skydiving?
Couple of Arizona yokels.
Yeah.
Couple of maybe. I don't know. I feel like I see fatigues from here, but I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, that could be like camo pants.
I thought it was, but I feel like military personnel are the only people allowed to kind
Probably.
of to drop people out of the sky onto a public
over a stadium.
like, college university sports event. But hey, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anywho,
just because we're on animals, I had one email put it says crow on it. Yeah. So do you like animal friends?
as in
Like odd mixed animal friends, like a horse is friends with a dog or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
So this was a crow and a hedgehog are friends, and it's like this hedgehog is kind of taking his time to cross the road, so the crow is
Should I
helping
not
him
read
out.
that community
You do
note?
not read the community
Okay, I
note.
won't read the community
Don't read the
note.
community
I won't
note.
read it. I haven't because I was about to ask before I even started to read that community note. Like I've never seen one of these relationships that's real. Like sure, like a dog and a cat can get along in your house. 'Cause
Yeah.
they just have to. They're forced to.
Like a deer and a dog can sometimes get along together.
As long as because these are animals, they don't have like they don't have that amount of higher level thinking where they feel bad for things or
no,
think other stuff has a personality that they like. There's nothing like that happens.
nothing.
So anytime you see something in nature that's cute, there's some ulterior motive. That animal's getting something from that animal that it's being cute to. Like there's something else happening. Almost 100% of the time.
Not this one. This is like
This one's just
a
cute.
crow and a hedgehog are friends. The hedgehog's taking his time to get across the road, so the crow is helping him out.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I like crows. I like hedgehogs. I like just the heartwarming story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's helping him.
Oh, like yeah, like there you go. Yeah, get moving. There, stop taking your time. There you go.
Come on, buddy. I don't want you to get hit by a
stop.
car.
What are you doing?
You're gonna get hit by a vehicle if you
We're
stay
gonna
out
be the
here.
next Disney movie.
Crow and hog, like the fox and the hound, the hedge and the hog. Huh.
See?
Well, all right.
Yeah,
He's like, all right, buddy. I got you to the curb.
Yeah, you're safe
Like,
enough.
It's like we're trying to get a drunk person to do something. Eventually, you just go like, all right, buddy.
Get him kind of out of danger a little bit.
I'm putting you in an Uber. Whatever happens after this is not my problem, but I'm helping you. I got you to the curb. From here on out, you're on your own. I'm actually surprised he's leaving him alone. Maybe the video cuts before he makes his way back. Huh.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine I'm going to read that community note, and it's going to say this fucking bird was trying to eat that hedgehog. And it's just because a hedgehog is covered in spines, it was having difficulty doing so, so it eventually gave up.
It's even like worse. It's even worse than that. It's like because it's daytime and hedgehogs are night
Nocturnal?
nocturnals. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Hold on. May I read
Yeah,
it?
please.
Because the first sentence is, this is a dying nocturnal hedgehog. Okay? Out in the day because she is hypothermic, and the bird senses she will soon be a meal and is trying to hasten the death by pecking the hog's eyes. Oh my God. When the hog tries to protect herself, the bird pecks the hog's back, making her uncurl. So, yes, that is very cute. It is very nice of the bird to take the hedgehog to kill it.
See, yeah, there you go. Hold on, I just got oh, Dave just called me. Hey, taping just ended. I'm sorry, I'll be home in 20 minutes. Is that okay? Completely kept thinking Central Time. And I put ET in the thing.
Home an N-word. Say, well, I guess we'll make an exception this time.
All right, so
Crow appears to be helping hedgehog across. I can't believe it was worse than I even thought. I thought it was like pecking at it to see if it can, get some of that good meat, but it was trying to blind it because crows are very smart.
They are.
It's trying to peck its fucking eyes out so it would just kind of give up and roll over and want the crow to kill it.
But then I didn't know crows could eat a hedgehog.
Sure, why not?
How do you even like get to it? I guess flip it over and eat its belly or something.
Once you've weakened it and got it to the point of just kind of dying, I guess flip it over, start pecking at it.
Do they have some sort of spines or some, like little needle things?
Yeah,
they do.
They do, but it's all on the top. So they have a nice soft belly that crow wants to get into. Yummy, yummy belly parts.
Ugh.
Yeah, well, crows are too smart.
They are.
If you ever catch a crow being nice to you, get the hell away from it. It is in one way or another using you for something, or much like the hedgehog, it senses you're about to die and it's going to start pecking away at your guts. Or your eyeballs first and then work its way to your belly.
Yeah, what is it like the people that work at, I don't know, the Crow Factory? I don't know where these people work, but like
Crow Factory, sure.
They have to wear masks when they leave to go to their cars because the crows remember their faces, and if they see those people they remember, they go and try to attack them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The crows are fucked up.
I've heard that.
I guess that's why they're called the murder, right?
Yeah. The murder of crows. No, it's just because they're cool and black, like goth. But no, I've read that same story where it was, or I don't know if it's the same story, but a guy who worked for some company that dealt with birds or whatever the fuck. I don't even remember what exactly
That's
it
what
was.
I'm saying, like a crow factory.
I don't know what the fuck it was. Basically, he would fuck with these birds and they remembered him. And every day he would come out and go to his car and they would like attack. They would all one by one swoop in and start pecking him in the head. And he said he recognized them because they had, some of them had markings on them. And he was like, it was the same fucking crows every day. They knew me.
So they had to put like a Richard Nixon mask on or something and go to his car. They leave him alone, I guess.
Yeah, and if you feed a crow or please it in some way, like if you blow a crow, if you give it a crow job, it'll bring you shiny things.
Yeah,
because it's somehow aware that there's value in shiny stuff.
I guess so. Yeah,
and it'll bring you shiny rocks, pieces of tinfoil, food wrappers.
There's a guy that trained it to pick up dollar bills, and to go to the park and find a loose dollar bill and bring it back. Or I don't know if I really believe that. But
I believe it. Stansel's all about it. Every time, I feel like every other time he's on, he talks about the crows. He's a big crow guy. He's pro crow. He always crowbars it into every conversation.
He crows about the crows all the time. Yeah.
Crow for show. Win at all costs said, Steve, enough. I'm sorry. I guess I did show those guys getting their legs broken a little too many times. To me, it was like a far enough away shot that I actually wasn't bothered by it.
You couldn't really tell what happens.
It
I was
looked-
waiting for the zoom in, and you just saw his tibia sticking out through his shin.
Right.
Yeah.
A close up of someone sustaining one of those injuries would make me fucking gag. But the camera was far enough away where I'm just like, that stinks. I hope him a speedy. I hope a speedy recovery. Wish him a speedy recovery. Thank God I didn't fall out of the sky in a parachute because I'd definitely be too heavy, and that exact thing would happen to me.
Would you ever parachute?
No. For what?
Or what?
What's the reason I'm doing this?
Exactly. My old
Bungee jumping either. No, thank you.
I would possibly do that, but I'm not dying to do it.
If I was in great shape, I might consider it, just because what would go wrong isn't them miscalculating my weight versus the equipment and having some sort of malfunction like that. But even then, it's like I don't know if I'm not an adrenaline junkie like that.
Yeah.
I'm a drugs junkie. I'd rather do drugs than fucking jump off a bridge.
But my whole thing was skydiving. I probably said this before, but it's like a minute and a half of fun. You're jumping, you're falling out of the plane. It's cool. Then 15 minutes of sitting in some guy's lap.
You just slowly descend.
come down, and you're just sitting there attached to this person.
It's got to be cool though to just look at,
I guess,
everything, from that high while you're slowing down.
As you're the little spoon.
But it would be a very uncomfortable 15 minutes if there was just something hard pressing against your back, and you're just like, hey. He's just like, sorry, the friction was swaying back and forth. No, it's like you're jerking him off with your back.
God, I'm sorry, the vibrations are just
the vibrations. Yeah, that would be a nightmare.
Feel it.
What else? A nightmare I didn't even know I had about skydiving is that while you're falling, you can't breathe.
No?
The air is
'cause
getting fucking blasted into your face so hard that people say they as soon as they jump out of the plane, they go to scream, and immediately they're just like, because
you
the
can't push
wind
the
just
air
gets
out.
sucked out of you. Yeah. And you have to kind of turn your face to breathe.
Wow, I guess that kind of makes sense, but I don't know. I feel like it's blowing air in. I can see not being able to scream out, but breathing in seems like it's happens for you.
I don't know. It's like once you open your mouth, it blasts the air so hard in that you're not actually breathing.
Okay.
Like the function isn't happening. Like your lungs aren't inhaling and exhaling. It's just like someone shoved if someone shoved an oxygen tube down your throat. There's a process to breathing. It's in and out. In and out. It can't just be all in.
Yeah.
So you would be like, I can't fucking breathe. And yeah, for some reason that scares the shit out of me. Just falling out of the sky and feeling like you can't breathe.
Oh my God. Yeah. Just two out of control things you can't control at the same time. That is kind of a little scary. Yeah.
Yeah. I would think they probably brief you on how to properly breathe while you're falling through the sky. But what if they forget? And you're just, and you can't say anything. You can't say, because sound can't escape. The second you open your mouth, it's just.
I feel like you do like a whistle mouth, and then you can kind of just slow the intake of air into your mouth.
I don't even think it's that. I think probably a whistle mouth, but also, like I said, you have to tilt your head so that it's not just directly getting blasted down your throat. You can breathe from the side.
Or then if you do the whistle mouth, it makes a little cool beer bottle sound across your lips.
Yeah. Yeah, that and bungee jumping. No, thank you. Me no Reiki.
What about the slingshot?
I think I've done one of those. Maybe not. That's more along the lines like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I can wrap my head around getting in that. I like roller coasters.
Or the free fall.
No, I haven't done that. That's like bungee jumping. Is it the thing where you're just up on a big platform and they drop you
in a cage?
Mm.
And they drop you, and then you just kind of even out at the bottom. Yeah,
I'd probably
it's more roller coastery.
I'd probably do that. Yeah. Let's change gears here while we wait for Mr. Landau. And by change gears, I mean let's watch a video with a man, or rather a child, on a dirt bike in England.
On a hog?
On a hog. He's riding hog. And I have, just because the video is based in the UK, I have but one question for you.
Is it absolute scenes or is it not?
Let's figure it out.
Mike's getting muted.
It's yeah. But let's figure out, was this absolute scenes or is it not? So the camera view here is GoPro ish, some GoPro thing on a like teenager's dirt bike, and he's riding around through GB, Great Britain.
Doesn't look like you're allowed to ride your dirt bike in this kind of place.
What the fuck?
No.
Oh, I didn't do nothing! I didn't do nothing! I didn't do nothing! I wasn't even there! I wasn't even there!
No.
I didn't do nothing!
No, you didn't do anything.
Why?
This
Why'd
bike's
you hit
illegal,
me?
by the way.
I know, but why'd you
This bike's
hit me?
illegal, isn't it? You ran in front of my car. I'm sorry.
No,
Your
I'm sorry.
your friend with the blue,
Yes.
Howard. Nice to meet
Yes,
you.
nice to meet you too.
What?
The adult is panicking because he absolutely meant to do that, but then as soon as he did do it, he realized, oh, holy shit, I just hit that kid with my car. Like that kid went flying through the air. I hit him with my car.
But the kid did something, or the kid was part of someone that did something.
Within we're 30 seconds into the video. I feel like I already entirely know what happened. This little fucker on his dirt bike pulled some shit to this guy's house or car or
Spun
something.
out on his lawn or did something.
He did something to this guy.
Mhm.
And this guy was looking for him and he fucking found him. That's why when this kid flies off the bike, instead of just being like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? He goes, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. Okay. You did something. Not that that in any way justifies a grown man plowing into you with a fucking car.
Nah.
Unless this kid, what he did was he rode the motorbike into this man's house and fucking executed his wife. If he drove into the guy's house with a fucking shotgun and blasted her through a wall, then he's absolutely justified and even justified to go further. But I have a feeling he did some teenage bullshit prank thing, like he gave him a dirt job on his lawn or whatever the fuck. And this guy got pissed. He saw him and he was like, I'm gonna teach this kid a lesson. Kid goes flying through the air and he's just like, oh, and he's figuring it out. He's watching in the moment him trying to figure out exactly how he's going to go about making this kid like clam up about this.
Yeah,
because he's now got to get him to shut the fuck up about what just happened. So he went the route of, that's illegal, right? Your motorbike's illegal, right? And then he's like, all right, wait, let me switch tactics. Sorry, hi, and he shakes his hand. He's like, well, maybe. You attract more flies with honey than wait, no, they like honey and shit. Yeah, I want to start over from the beginning and then we'll watch the full thing. Okay. Just because I love just in that one moment, you catch so much in one little moment, you know exactly what happened.
What the fuck? Oh, I didn't do nothing!
He was even looking at me how he was already saying what the fuck.
I wasn't even there! I wasn't even there!
No, you didn't.
I didn't do nothing!
No, you didn't do anything.
Why?
This
Why'd
bike's
you hit
illegal,
me?
by the way.
I know, but why'd you
This
hit
bike's
me?
illegal, isn't it? You ran in front of my car. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. Your friend with the blue, Howard. Nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you too.
Pick this up, okay?
Yeah, I'll pick up my bike. Okay.
Right. Now,
I didn't.
First of all, understand this bike's completely illegal.
Shit. Then he fixed my handlebars.
There you go.
Fucking hell, that hurt.
This bike is completely illegal. First of all.
Yeah.
What's your follow-up? He's like, he doesn't know what else to say because he's like, God, I got him with the illegal thing. He's listening, but
he agreed with me.
Fuck, what else? Fuck. I really hit him with my car.
Sorry. I know he is. Yeah, they're ringing my doorbell every day.
No, I didn't do it. I wasn't here.
Police here yesterday. See the gang over there? The guy with the blue hat on's on my camera just rang the doorbell. So I'm about to go back to the police from the case from yesterday, where they were.
Oh my God!
He ran a kid over because they rang his doorbell.
Ring and run.
They were ringing and running on him, so he blasted him with a car.
Jeez, but every day they do it, so it's warranted.
It's a doorbell.
I know.
Amazon ring and runs on me every fucking day, and for some reason they know when Charlie's taking a nap, and it would really piss me off because they do it every day.
They hold down the button. The little
They said, "Fuck your kid." But this woman came over, thank God, to save the day and get the down low because she saw the kid get hit by the fucking car.
Camera just rang the doorbell, so I'm about to go back to the police from the case from yesterday, where there were other witnesses. If I was you, buddy, I would go and I would vanish off.
Yeah.
Because the police are going to be back here. The guy with the blue hat on.
I'm just a bit confused why you hit me. I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, one of your mates who you're here with. Yeah, he was in front.
I have it on film. No, I saw you zoom up on me. I have it on film.
We saw that.
Yeah.
I have it on film.
That's okay.
I have it on film. Yeah, I'm
As
fine.
I say, they're terrorizing this neighborhood.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Oh, no.
That guy, I hate when they cut clips like that.
Yeah.
It ends when it just got juicy.
What is GoPro run out of batteries at that second? No, like, what
I
the
think
fuck?
he might have. Maybe it's a phone and he like turned it off to show them the video.
Oh,
Because he's like, I have it on video. I have it on video.
Uh-huh.
But this fucking guy is panicking. That's why he's like, the cops are over there. You should vanish. You should vanish and never be seen again.
but he's really talking to himself.
He's bargaining with the kid. He really wishes these other people aren't crowding around because they're making this way worse. He needs this kid to get the fuck out of there and never be seen again because this kid can fuck him bad.
Bad. I mean, it's obvious. He was like right up those little pylons, and the guy turned toward him and just
the kid saw him coming and said, "What? What?" Like he was already panicking before he even slammed the gas and crashed into him. But I just think it's so funny that this asshole, if that was me, and in a moment of rage, I fucking blasted a kid on a dirt bike, I wouldn't get out the car. I would go,
going.
"Oh fuck! I can't believe I just did that," and take the fuck
And
off.
hope he doesn't get your license plate. Yeah.
Hope it doesn't get light. And if you do get cold, you play dumb, play completely dumb. The cops are just like, "Yeah, we have you on camera hitting a kid on a dirt bike really hard." I'd be like, "What?
What? Me? No.
Look at my car. There's no marks on.
I was getting
Oh,
my
there's a
car
mark on
cleaned.
my car. What was it? You know, I thought I hit something, but I thought it was a pothole. Turns out I hit a pot smoking teenager on a dirt bike. Huh.
An illegal dirt bike, I might add.
Oh yeah, while he's getting cuffed. Just so you guys know, that dirt bike was illegal, so I was actually performing a citizen's arrest. I was performing a pit maneuver on the dirt bike, and I was trying to apprehend the suspect. So you might want to take these cuffs off and hand me a badge and a little medal of honor because I did your job.
Now, see, none of this would have happened in America because they were on the wrong side of the road. He was close to he'd have to come from the other way to hit the dirt biker.
He fucking nailed him. That kid's lucky he's not in like the hospital with broken bones with how hard that fucking car hit him.
Like even before the kid lands, he's like, "It wasn't me that did it."
I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. I wasn't.
I mean, he did something.
Yeah,
He-
obviously.
At the very least, ding dong
Accomplice.
ditched
Yeah.
or hung out with the other badass kid that was ding dong ditching. At worst, again, he broke into this guy's house and raped his dog. He got this guy all riled up, but he instantly turned the tables by getting hit by him.
What kind of car is that?
It's an Audi.
Audis? Yeah,
Yeah.
those are pretty nice, right?
Yes.
Like, what are you doing risking your fucking car to hit a dirt bike?
In your car, you're risking like going to jail.
Well, that too. But
That's like attempted murder with a vehicle. You can't fucking like
purposely.
And it's all on tape. It's on tape. Him speeding up, turning, and speeding up more into a child. The biggest thing that's fucking him is this tape. Because he's doing a fine enough job of just panicking his balls off and being like, this is illegal. And these kids they're a nuisance. They're terrorizing the neighborhood.
But hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you. You might want to vanish. You might want to get out of here, before the cops come, because you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Yes, you are going to be in a lot of trouble if you're around when the cops come. Please leave. Please, please, please. I can't imagine just that sunken gut feeling he must be having when he's like, oh, it's all falling apart. All these people are gathering around. This kid's got it on video. I am fucked.
No, but I helped fix his handlebars. I straightened them out.
Yeah, all out of pure guilt for what he just
Yeah.
did. He's shaking his hand, fixing his handlebars, picking the bike up for him, while still scolding him because he's trying to control the situation. He's trying to remain like, "Hey, I'm your elder, and I'm telling you that I'm a very nice man. Look, I'm picking up your bike. I'm the nicest guy I'll ever meet, but you shouldn't be riding around on a legal bike,
Illegal.
and you shouldn't be ding dong ditching. I just wanted to let you know that as I do this to you."
What the fuck? Oh, I didn't do nothing! I didn't do nothing! I didn't do nothing! I wasn't even there! I wasn't even there!
I know you didn't.
I didn't do
I
nothing!
wasn't there. Where were you there?
This
Why'd
bike's
you hit
illegal,
me?
by the way.
I know, but why'd you
This
hit
bike's
me?
illegal, isn't it? You ran in
Yes.
front of my car. I'm sorry.
No,
Your
I'm sorry.
your friend with the blue,
Yes.
Howard. Nice to meet
Yes,
you.
nice to meet you too. Ah, shit.
Pick this up.
Fucking
You okay?
Yeah.
This is my favorite moment by far. Nice to meet you. Please, please, please don't ruin my whole life. I may have done that myself just now, but you are in control of my fate. From this point on, I will be in a prison cell if you show anyone that video.
God.
But also, you shouldn't have an illegal bike.
He got the kid to apologize to him right away too. Like, he's like, "I'm sorry."
He
I'm
knew
sorry."
how to fucking manipulate this kid. He knew exactly, like, because teenagers, kids, they're afraid of being in trouble, afraid of fucking getting their, because trouble is like this vague thing that ruins your life. Even though the worst, looking back, I'm like, I should have been such a piece of shit. I should have done whatever I wanted all the time. The worst thing that ever would happen is my mom would have gotten called and she would have grounded me.
Yeah,
I would have had to stay home, and I could go back out and rob a bank. But when you're that age, you think, "Oh my god, I'm fucked." Like you feel like how this guy should feel.
It's gonna go on my permanent record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy telling you, and he obviously knows he did something bad. So this guy who he was fucking with, coming up and interrogating him, the Punisher style, it's scaring the shit out of him. And he's like, I'm sorry. Even though if you were an adult, he'd know. Like, fuck, you just hit me with your fucking car. I'll fucking kill you.
I wonder what makes the bike illegal.
It's a dirt bike.
Those are illegal?
Yeah, you can't really have those.
Really?
I know here in the States, you can have them,
But you can't
but
be
you
on
can't
the
ride.
road?
They're not like street legal.
Oh, okay.
They're dirt bikes. You have to ride them like in.
Yeah.
If you have a massive land.
No, that's not true, because I see a group of dirt bike riders and ATV riders driving down my neighborhood multiple times a month. Like a whole pack of them, and they don't get arrested or stopped.
It's funny you would refer to them as a pack, but it turns out, Garrett, you're not going to believe this. What they are doing is not legal.
What?
It is lawfully unjust.
But I've seen them drive by cops, and they don't do anything.
Well, there's a phrase that cops go by these days: more trouble than it's worth. Especially in New York. Some things are more trouble than they're worth.
Everyone's entertained because half the guys are pulling wheelies, and it sounds really cool and super loud. I love that sound.
There's a small section of society that has figured out they can do whatever they want, because if the cops decide they're going to do something about it, all they have to do is act way more wild towards the cops and violent. And if the cops do anything in response, the cops will be in a lot of trouble.
A lot of doo-doo.
Whereas the people who are doing the bullshit, even if you do arrest them, it's like a ticket.
Yeah, well, they did that one thing one time that was like supposed to be a big deal, where they confiscated all the bikes and then ran them over with a bulldozer or whatever.
It was retarded.
It was
that was so stupid.
At least resell them or something, or use them somehow.
It's a complete waste of dirt bikes. Yeah, sell them to the Nitro Circus. They could put them to use.
Yeah.
Donate them to kids in fucking Zimbabwe and Djibouti. They love a bunch of dirt bikes. They're legal there. Rape and murder's legal there, I think. It was a complete waste. And I don't even think like they melted down the metal or did any like recycling.
No,
of
they
it.
just crushed them.
Threw them in the garbage.
Yeah.
They created more giant piles of metal trash. Yeah, it was one of the more retarded things I've seen. But thank God they cracked down.
you'd think they would be doing it all the time because it still happens, but no, it's just that one time, and they were like, all
One
right.
time so they could make a thing out of it and put it
Yeah.
on the news. And then that was it.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for nothing.
All right, well, that's it. We got we'll just wait here for Dave now.
Let's just sit here
Screwed us over.
in silence. You know, wipe my ass with his book. I have another shitty cycler, and I have an important video. Oh, this, yeah, we should watch this.
Okay.
Now, this one, I have a feeling it's a similar video, but I feel like you might be on the side of the oppressor rather than the oppressed in this one.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
I don't know. We have another team.
What the f is wrong with you, bro? What the f is wrong with you, bro? I'm a fucking minor.
You almost hit me.
Bro, what the f is wrong with you? I'm recording you. I'm recording you. You want me to call the cops? You just assaulted me and gave my life to Jesus. That's the only reason I'm not f***ing putting my hands on you. I'm 16. I'm 16. I'm 16. Nah, that's cool, bro. You lucky I gave my life to Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know.
So, whose side are you on, Garrett? Pick a side.
White guy.
Just because he's white.
Just because he's white. That's it. Yeah. No,
All right, hey.
His
easy.
mistake.
That was a fair and balanced answer.
The white guy's mistake was you do that, but then you just keep walking. You don't keep arguing with the guy. You're just like, oh, no, sorry, you almost ran. Don't even say anything. Just keep minding your own business. Let them yell at you or whatever. And just keep walking.
Yeah.
You already made your point.
Yeah, because this whole, I've seen this, this is a big thing in New York too, the wheeling down the street for some reason, and then they like dip, like they're going to hit you, and they dip right out right at the end. And you just have to trust they're good enough at wheelie biking that they're not going to just plow into you. And I've seen videos, by the way, where the kids doing it were not good enough.
Nope.
And they got hit by a fucking car, which is awesome. Very, very awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you
can we find like where did this guy like line him up? Where did he come from?
So yeah, all right. There he is.
There he is.
So let's go back a little. He already sees him, I think, back here.
Yeah.
Because look, you can see
him.
the faintest sliver of teal in the back. All the way back here, he sees this fucker doing wheelies. And he sees he's doing the thing where he's dipping towards people and then he's shooting back out.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Oh boy. Oh,
look
at this.
The Biscayne hotline is ringing.
If he does it again.
I swear to God. Hello.
Hey, do you still live at the same address? I mean, you know, since last time I was there, I know Tyrone's in college, but you're still there, right?
He's not going to college. His father's too stupid.
They don't test the father when the kid goes to school. They don't. I checked.
Oh, so you were saying I have a stupid son.
He knows I'm gay already. I mean, the kid's a genius. Stupid. Oh. All right, so I'll see you guys around 7.
Wow.
What? You don't miss me?
Yeah, we're just shot. We thought you were calling to cancel again.
I thought this phone call was going to be in a bar that you owe a $5,000 tab to.
I'm not going to lie to you. There's an insecure part of me that needed you to be afraid I was going to cancel. Let's be honest. I needed you to be like, oh, I hope he doesn't cancel. I need that. You know that.
You got it.
Damn it, he didn't cancel.
No, see, what Garrett did was really mean. You tried too hard, Steve. You tried to piggyback on the piece of shit your friend Garrett is. You want to try it again?
Yeah, well, I told Charlie what you said.
Stop crying, Charlie. It's all right. You're not stupid.
And Charlie said, I don't care what that faggot thinks about me, Dad.
He said it as he was loading a gun.
Oh, God.
All right, screeching home, cashing out. I'll see you around 7, boys.
See you soon.
Bye.
His son's not going to college. You know, the one he rubbed into his belly. come and rub it in my belly. I like to come and rub it in my gut. Anyway, so yeah, back to business. As we all know, business podcast. We talking business here?
Be home in 10, log on. Sorry, but that was 15 minutes. Wow. What a fucking piece of shit this guy is.
This guy, we should have known from his book. This guy's a piece of shit. But yeah, so all right, sliver of teal in the background is already sizing up Mr. Bike Rider. And
but like my dad does often, interjects himself in a situation he doesn't need to interject himself in, just because yes, someone's doing something wrong or illegal, but you're not the cop of the world. You don't have to, slow them down or say something, or you can just watch them go by and be like, what a fucking dick to your wife or whatever,
Absolutely, unless he bumps into you or even comes so close to you it makes you uncomfortable. There's really no reason other than you decided I'm Frank Castle. I'm the Punisher. I'm going to take this into my own hands for you to do anything. If any, I am the opposite. When I see someone like this coming my way, I'll get out of the way because I'm like, what? Why? Yeah. Why would I even pretend I want to deal with this dipshit? Especially because, like,
I think about it though, like, if I had a stick, it'd be awesome if I could just stick it right in the spokes now.
If my life was way worse and I wanted to constantly lash out at people, these are the type of people I would lash out at. Yes, I would trip this kid. I would try to fucking put him in the hospital.
I almost want to say it's like opposite. It's like, my life's so good, I'm the king of the world, and I can just tell people what to do and what they can't do.
I think there's that. I think there's that kind of arrogance, but there's also, I think it happens multiple ways. I think some people are that, but I think there's also people who it's like a lack of control in their own life. So if they see a situation they can throw themselves into and be the moral superior of the situation, they'll, just to get a fucking handle on something and be, in charge of something, they'll fucking toss a kid off his bike and be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's against the rules of the boardwalk. You have to follow the rules of the boardwalk.
But the worst person in this whole situation is the wife, who has to stand in between and try to break. Like, what are you going to do? You're not going to stop anything. I don't know.
It is. It's awful.
They're all awful.
Let's see. Maybe we change our minds.
What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? I'm a fucking minor.
You almost hit me.
He's also just got other stereotypes that I despise. He's got the Under Armour visor, which is douchebag uniform.
It goes head to head with him.
He's got a teal long sleeve fishing shirt with shorts on. It's just, it's the douche fag outfit. And then the head to head, like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? He wants to fight you. What do you mean?
Bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm recording you. I'm recording you. You want me to call the cops? You just assaulted me and gave my life to Jesus. That's the only reason.
When this kid he's just a retard.
I know.
He's just saying retarded things that I gave my life to Jesus.
You're lucky.
If any of that was true, you'd be turning the other cheek and walking away instead of trying to start a fight.
Or you would have been pulling wheelies on the sidewalk.
Fight wheelies. There's two people that are doing that thing. You throw the first punch. No, you throw the first punch. It'll be okay. Like, they're trying to bait them into a fucking Carmelo Anthony situation of, it's self-defense, right? He hit me first, so it's self-defense, right? Even though I killed him, it's self-defense. I hate that. It's like, if you want to be in a fucking fight, be in a fight. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Throw a punch. You're in a fight now.
Yep.
You don't have to fucking throw these little pussy pushes and be like, oh, you hit me. You hit me first. I dare you. I dare you. Ugh. Boo.
I'm not putting my hands on you. I'm 16. I'm 16. I'm 16. Nah, that's cool, bro. You lucky I gave my life to Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, honestly, thank God for the wife. She's diffused the whole situation.
I guess so.
Because of her, they did walk away from each other.
That's true. It's a good point.
Although I would prefer she's not there and they just fight. Like, stop pointing and shoving and just fucking fight already.
There's also like weird edits in there. Like, why would you edit out anything?
Yeah.
It's like, what are you editing out? Stupid lines you said?
Probably, yeah. The guy, because the kid obviously posted the video, so probably parts where he sounded stupid. I thought there was a longer version, but I was incorrect. Well, anywho, let's get to some Hollywood news.
Ooh.
This made me laugh for one reason. This actress, I follow her career because of one thing and one thing only. Her name is Idina Menzel.
Yeah.
But I always have to look that up because I don't ever remember her real name. To me, her name is Adell Dazeem because this is Star of Wicked because.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adell Dazeem.
But Adell Dazeem is in a new play that is one of the weirdest things I think I've seen. Adell Dazeem is starring in a Broadway show called Redwood, and it looks and sounds like a 30 Rock cutaway. It is an entire play about a tree, and the whole play takes place on a tree. The whole thing is just a girl climbing a tree and singing on a tree.
Oh my God. Like a one-woman show that's on a tree?
Yeah. It's angling around the tree like a Christmas ornament. Want to go see it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go see Redwood, starring Adell Dazeem.
What the fuck?
Spoiler alert, at the end, she does fuck the tree.
Oh, nice.
She gets a smaller branch to fit right in her keister. And she makes the tree plus sappy loads all over that ass.
This is on Broadway?
I'm pretty sure, yes.
Oh, my God.
Adell Dazeem's new play on Broadway. Go and see it. And after you're done seeing that wonderful Broadway masterpiece, go on Amazon, pick yourself a book. Up. And if you want to pick yourself a book up, you might as well pick up a book named Party of One by Dave Landau, because it is one. I don't say this about books ever. I think it's a funny book. I was reading it yesterday, and my son's watching TV. Sesame Street is on, and I'm laughing out loud. And Caitlin just turns to me and she goes, "Are you laughing at your book or at Elmo?" And I was like, I'm laughing at a book. I know that's odd, but
that is.
To like you'll read stuff and go, like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
But it's very rare to read something printed and go,
yeah.
And it's happened so far in at least every chapter that I'm up to. I'm only halfway through, but
yeah, it's just chapter after chapter of amazing stories. It really is. It's just like,
amazing stories about a fucking piece of shit, degenerate, low-life asshole.
Oh my God.
And without any further ado, here's a degenerate piece of shit, low-life asshole. It's Dave Landau.
Hey!
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you
perfectly.
Sound good.
Good. Okay, cool. Yeah, good. Yes, complete piece of shit, degenerate, low-life asshole. My book is about a man that climbs a tree. It's very exciting. It's 20 chapters.
Or it's a book about a man that crashes into a tree.
Actually, it is. It absolutely is. I wish she was singing on it when I wrapped that Buick around it.
The biopic will be starring Adell Dazeem, so
Yes.
Exciting.
I hope that gives out on Broadway, though, in front of the entire audience.
Oh,
the pulley system just drops.
It's like that Spider-Man play, Turn Off the Dark.
Yeah, anytime
he fell.
Yeah, he fell to his death in New York, right? In Broadway?
I don't think he fell to his death, but
No, I think he fell over the crowd and like landed on people in the audience and really hurt someone.
Hurt people and himself. Yeah.
That's why you shouldn't do that on Broadway. It's a Spider-Man play.
But anyway, Dave, great to see you. It's been some time since we saw you in Dallas.
Yeah.
Other than the book, what's new?
Just touring. Trying to put out this book is my main thing right now. Just if anybody wants it, you can see it. Party of One at Amazon, a fuzzy memoir. I didn't know there was another Party of One about Kim Jong-un, so it's not that one. Yeah. So I don't know. Apparently, I don't think his is about loneliness. Mine's more about that. But just working on the show, Normal World, and touring and being a dad, and that's pretty much it, man.
Now, speaking of being a dad, are you afraid that your son will read this book?
Yes. He's also at the age where he can read that book.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, he's at the perfect age where if he finds his book, it's like, holy, because I doubt you've told him any of the stories, or at least.
Dude, he's 10, so he's still at like only bad guys go to jail. And then there's, a dozen chapters of me going to jail.
Over and over and over again. Yeah.
And I've always told him, I'm like, I don't drink. It just affects some people in a negative way, which he now will realize is me. So it's...
Speaking of being a dad, why didn't yours kill you?
I think only because he was dying of brain cancer at the time. So like a lot of that happened after he was diagnosed. I think if he was in full form, he would have killed me. He did knock me out with a punch. That's in the book. When I tried to fight him, I realized that trying to fight a trained killer from the military, even with a halo drilled into his head. It turns out I lose. So yeah, I'm surprised he didn't. We got along at towards the very end. We always got along, but I don't know. I really don't know. Like when I go back and I look at everything and the stuff that I didn't even put in the book, I'm just surprised I didn't die.
Definitely.
I'm only halfway through it, but there are already several points where yes, you should be dead. My favorite though is that your dad bought a brand new Buick Regal, and like what was it, the day after he bought this car for himself?
Yes.
You destroyed it.
Yes, it was.
It was also the first day you had your license.
It was the first day I got my license. My mom let me go get my license, even though I had terrible grades. And so I went and got it, and my dad got that brand new car. And I decided that he didn't even give me permission to drive it. I just snuck the car out while my family was all at dinner and everything. So when I took it, I backed it out. I drove over my neighbor's grass just to get it out. And then I went.
Because there was a car behind you or something, right?
Yeah, it turned out my aunt blocked me in. So I wouldn't drive her son anywhere. Like she just had a feeling it wouldn't go well.
And it's so funny that it worked out in a way where not only did you drive her son around for a night of debauchery, but she kind of indirectly caused more property damage because you had to drive over your neighbor's tree and flower bed to get the car out, which was thousands in damage.
Yes, it was a small pine tree in a very well-kept garden that an old woman had. And this woman already hated me because one time I was walking to my buddy's car, and I thought it would be funny to see a dead blue jay that I saw sitting there and then put it in her mail slot. So she's just like reading in her like family room, and a dead bird just falls through her mail slot, and she sees me running across the lawn giggling. And came over and told my mom, and I'm like, I wouldn't do that. What kind of a sociopath would do that? Like just pretending I would never. But yeah, the night my dad got that car, and he loved that car for the first 24 hours he had it. But when we started doing lawn jobs or like just donuts on people's front lawn, and we ended up in a high-speed chase, and that's when I did crash the car into a tree. Everybody, all my friends and my cousin Andrew, who's blood related, ran. and it was just me and a tree, and I didn't know that the entire trunk was filled with things for the family reunion. Yeah, so it's like liquor bottles and beer and chips. So it was just like a mile of a Super Bowl party to me unconscious in front of a tree. And my dad, honestly, Vietnam vet, was not violent, but I remember I got out of the car and I'm like, "I'm all right, Dad." And he punched me in the face. And
Great,
then, yes. And as I was coming to, the police officer, I swear to God, goes, "He's waking up. If you want to hit him again, I won't say anything."
I mean, honestly, your dad's a saint, because the fact that he just stopped at one punch after you basically totaled his brand new car, drunk, hanging out with your friends, he should have picked you up and power bombed you through the hood.
I think he wanted to. He was very funny. He had like a very Dangerfield-esque kind of presence to him. And I remember when he got the bill for the car, and it was a $14,000 bill for, at the time, that was like a $28,000 car, which was very expensive at the time.
God.
And he hands it to me and he goes, "I know you don't have a lot of trophies, but you should take this to school and let everybody know about how proud I am of you, of your accomplishments."
Wow.
And he just hands me the bill.
So he still had humor over it. Wow,
Oh, he did. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is he had levity with that, but yeah, he was worried I was becoming an addict, and there was a lot of stuff in my past, and I discussed that in the book. But yeah, I'm very lucky. I think a lot of dads would have just killed you. I'm surprised he didn't, though.
Really, what could he do? I guess
Kill you.
He
had a spare. You have a twin brother. It's not like it would have been a
That's
big
true.
deal.
That's true.
He's like, he went home like, "I killed the evil twin. We still got the good one."
Yeah, which oddly wouldn't even have been the case. My brother just got away with everything.
Oh, really?
Oh, I
That's
see.
the thing. He doesn't really come up in the book that much. I almost seem like he was off being a goody two shoes kind of thing.
That's the impression I got too.
Yeah, I kind of separated a little bit of him in a lot of the stories, or I just named him something else for the sake of career. But
that makes sense.
No, he's a guy who one time he borrowed my car. I had a tourist show and I liked it. And he left this party at a frat house, and he gets, all of a sudden we see police behind him. We know he's drunk. So he gets in this high-speed chase with the cops, ends up going in front of a train, beats the train, and leaves the cops behind him.
Wow.
But
Cannonball Run or something.
Yeah. And then he crashes my car into the front of someone's home and then runs with the keys.
Well, were you mad that you didn't do it?
Yeah. I didn't have the story. No, because then the police come around looking for me and my brother, and they end up coming to this house, and I'm like, somebody took it, and the keys weren't in the ignition, so they couldn't prove it. So fortunately, like, we didn't get it, just came off as if a car was stolen, and they drove it into a house. And then he just comes home and goes to get in his Mustang, and I'm like, "No, that's mine now. You don't just get to ruin my car and just casually walk back. Like, you totaled my car into someone's home." But he again, he never got in trouble for it.
Well, I guess, that's not as bad as totaling someone's home while they're in Hawaii. That's so far one of my fucking favorite stories in the book, because you honestly really didn't do anything wrong, but you got in a lot of fucking trouble you did.
I mean,
and you and your friends kind of ruined these people's lives.
Yeah, we did.
He might not have done any physical damage, but he started the whole thing by inviting people over.
He was part of the cursed contract.
Yeah.
Yes, I did sign the contract that said we were allowed to throw a party in this person's house. And the story in the book, we'll just say the name was changed, and it may have been a girl who was dating one of my friends.
Oh, God.
That makes it make a little more sense.
Dude, yeah, it was not.
She was being nice and letting, like, "Oh, my boyfriend's friends, they can come over." because in the book, it's basically your friend says, "Oh, me and my family going to Hawaii. If you guys, like a couple of you, can use our house to smoke." And meanwhile, was this part accurate, where it was her grandparents that she lived with? Because I'm just picturing the nicest, sweetest old people in the world just own this house that became a piece of shit.
It's funny. It's a mix of two stories, which is why I made it a guy. That entire story is true, but it did happen at another house where I was largely much more responsible. Where a very unpopular kid, but he had a car, decided that he would have a house party. And dude, I feel very bad about it to this day, but I mean, people stole guns and sold them. I mean, it was,
Oh my
it
God.
was like, yeah, it was not, dude. I mean, they ruined this dude's entire, like, he's supposed to be watching his grandparents' house. And I mean, I do remember playing machete darts with one of the ceilings too, which seems to be so like, I was hammered drunk. Not that it's any excuse, but the next day when we came in to clean it, the parents were there and they're like, "We're going to sue you." And I'm like, "It's your kid's fault. We didn't want to be here. I'm just here to clean up." I'm like, and I went at it so hard that they just got mad at their kid and let us go home. And, but yeah, no, this story was, dude, everything in that story is true. When I came back from my shift as a busboy after I got paged, I'm walking there and, dude, I see a TV get thrown not out of a window, through a window, which lands on the driveway. And I was like, I'm gonna leave. So I just because my friend Dan, we're supposed to have 4 kids over to smoke pot or whatever. And of course, everybody's like, "Well, I only called this person and I called this person." And then you start hearing the names and you're like, "You did not call." Like, that guy just got out of jail. So it's like, you're calling these people. My friends steal the car that belongs to the house to go to a dope street to get weed. They put an APB on it. They get arrested and they're like, "We were at a party and someone said it was their car and we could borrow it." And the next day when we came in, dude, and the cops swarmed us. It was terrifying. But fortunately, like, we were trying to clean. So it did. I mean, I really was trying to clean, but there was no fixing. I mean, it's just like I've said in the book, dude, the chimney was ripped inches out of the wall. I don't know how it happened.
I understand how you rip a chimney out, but yeah, the destruction you described. I was laughing just at, like, why is he even trying to vacuum and clean this house that's been torn in half? Like, you just described, like, the walls being carved open with knives, TVs have chairs through them, like. The house, vacuuming up a little glass off the carpet wasn't going to save the holes in the walls and the fucking, like, all the furniture being broken.
And I knew one thing my friend John did, because I saw, like, the grand piano had been smashed up. And I remember a girl was throwing us out of her house one time. And I look over and for some reason, John just is pissing on the keys and dumping breadcrumbs on it. Then we left. But when I saw the piano all chopped to hell and covered in urine, I'm like, I got a feeling who did that.
Guy's got a beef with pianos.
Yeah, really hates those baby grands.
Like, what do you chalk it up to that you had no remorse about these things?
No, I had remorse for sure. Like, at the time, I felt really bad. Like, I had apologized to, we'll call her the guy in that I changed her name to for lawsuit reasons. But dude, I apologized profusely because I honestly, at the time, I really did like to kind of just chill. So the idea of having a place to just smoke pot and hang out and have a few beers was so much fun to me. But I also knew my friend Dan was an asshole, and I had a very good idea this was going to go awry. But I also had my name on a document that said that I had taken the keys to use the house because he drew up a contract saying we could be there. and I
So
knew
that's
we were
legally binding too.
yeah, and it's not, even though we did get arrested at school. But when we did show the contract, it helped us out a lot.
Notarized contract.
Yeah, but
we're allowed to destroy your house.
yes, but there is a level of it too. Yeah, I was young. I had no value for certain things. I mean, I knew what my parents had worked for and other people, but I really had no idea how priceless a lot of these things were. I mean, you're not going to get the Hitler mustache somebody drew on the old picture of grandma off. You know what I mean? Like there's just old art with cocks drawn all over the entire, every single, and the weirdest thing, I didn't put it in the book, but I've talked, maybe I did, but I've talked about before. Somebody took a red marker and there was like the kids twins had a room and someone wrote the boogeyman was here in like this big red marker. And I'm like, what monster was in this room? like for some reason that was the most bone chilling one to me.
Doesn't even get to see the payoff.
Yeah,
it's just in his mind, he knows some kids are having nightmares because of his writings.
Right. And you just look, and I mean, I remember looking in the one room and I'm just seeing a TV stand and I'm like, I know where the TV is. That fell to the ground in front of me. But I've just never seen such animalistic behavior. And it would happen a few times, but you go to somebody's house and it's like, nobody's here. You can do whatever you want. And everybody there's like, well, let's destroy everything they've ever worked for. Seemed to be the consensus. It was horrible.
Were you there when they knocked over the grandfather clock, and did it make a funny noise?
I was not, but I've heard. I've heard it was hysterical.
Just picture a lot of bong and clanging.
Oh, dude. Everybody had, I'm sure even your parents did, that grandfather clock that was like wooden that sat in the foyer, like your grandparent. The one that I think everybody in 1960 bought that was like priceless to them.
My grandfather had one.
Yeah, that was
perfect.
They didn't have.
If a bunch of my punk friends knocked it over, he probably would have stabbed me to death.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a good chance, that anybody. I mean, we had one, but ours was, still upright. but when we got to that house, man, I did have a lot of remorse, like just in the sense of I knew it was bad, but I didn't say anything because I wanted to be liked. You're a teenager. So I'm like, this will work out. We'll all be responsible about this.
I'll just vacuum and it'll
we're fine. Dude, I didn't even finish a shift as a busboy before that house went from like, I forgot I had to look it up, but the house was worth $150,000, and at the they said that we did $168,000 worth of damages. So we somehow lowered the value of a home.
That estimate should have been written up and hung up on the wall next to the ticket your dad gave you for the amount of damage you did to his car.
I have it all somewhere too. I threw a couple articles in there, but I do have a few. One of my favorite one ever, I gotta find it. It was a house party where everybody ran out of my house and my brother was there. I wasn't there, but it actually says a heavyset girl was caught in the fence. Like, I gotta find it, dude. We laughed. So I hung it in my room. It was so funny because this one girl who was overweight, like everybody got away from the cops, but then there's just this girl dangling on a broken fence.
Help!
Yeah, it's just. Oh, and she was like friends with some of the hot girls, so she was there. Yeah, so she got arrested, and then I think my brother just didn't answer the door. I don't remember what happened. We tried to do that a lot, where we're like, just don't answer the door, and sometimes it worked, and other times the cops just came in.
So, how accurate are the names in the book? Just all made up to protect people, or?
Yeah, was there a Lebanese man named Trey that you hung out with?
Yeah, there was a Lebanese man named very close to Trey, but that was 100. All of it is completely true, 100% true. The names I did switch just to protect people, but ever since I put it out, I have everybody texting me going, "Is this me? Is this person?" Because they know. But I did have a Lebanese friend named Ray, and he was the one who died in my basement the first time I tried drinking.
Okay.
My fucking favorite part of that story is you're in the car with your dad and your other friend Ryan, and your friend Trey is on his way to the hospital. And to get out of trouble in this drunken moment of brilliance you had, you said, "No, Dad, we didn't get drunk. Trey did heroin in the bathroom." As if for some reason that was way better. That would just make everything go, and your dad would go, "Oh, really? Oh, okay. That's fine. As long as there was a 14-year-old doing heroin in the bathroom in my house, that's all cool.
Yeah.
But you guys drinking, you're in a lot of trouble."
Wait, you didn't like when they brought the stretcher out? Dave went and fell asleep on it.
Right there on the stretcher that's for his dying friend.
Yeah. Dude, I completely thought it was my bed because I had a twin bed. So I just laid on the stretcher. And I just remember the guy like shaking it, like, "Get up."
Get up, you drunk asshole.
And dude, I will never forget the guy pulling out the Elmer's wood glue. I mean, we must have the amount of liquor we had just consumed and the way we were behaving. And this guy pulled out, I'm telling you, with all the confidence in the world, non-toxic Elmer's wood glue. And we sat there just ripping on this cop for a good 10 minutes until he just left with embarrassment. But it was just every cop we could name from television. We were calling him that.
But like at that age, what gave you the confidence to be able to rip on cops or like just joke about things that you did that were horribly wrong?
Yeah, I can't imagine it like 14 making fun of a cop to his face
while my dad's there.
You know, even if I was drunk, I would be fucking pissing my pants. I'd be like, I'm in so much trouble.
Yeah, honestly, it was the third of a fifth I had. And he also he didn't come in full uniform. He was a detective, and he was wearing very much like the detective garb. And he, like I said, he looked like, like a kind of spinally weak Hank Azaria. And there was just something about him that was so not intimidating that it just added to the layers of making fun of him. Because he even investigated something that happens later in the book. And I remember him coming to my house and just like, "You're still this fucking stupid, aren't you?" So like,
wait, was this Detective Dan?
No, Officer. No.
Officer Dan's different. Okay.
Officer Dan. He was a absolute monster. He was the cop that all the cops hated.
And he's the one that he arrested you in the Buick. Correct?
Oh yeah, he arrested me in the Buick after throwing me down a staircase. There's a lot in the book, but he was the main guy who arrested me. I'd say 7 out of my 13 arrests were probably him.
Oh,
geez. Yeah, I was going to say.
Some luck. You keep getting the same dickhead cop arresting you.
There was like 6 arrests in the book, or at least. And I was like, I didn't know how many times, but 13 is the total.
13 is the total. And I was 27 at my last one where they were really going to throw the book at me. And that's when I got sober because I'm like, oh, the jail is like prison is real now. And when you're young and you're in Detroit and it's Wayne County and you're white, they're probably not going to put you away. They should. Like looking back on it, it's like, I mean, they did a scared straight thing with me, but they never gave me, other than a few stints in rehab, a couple days in jail. They really did not want to put white kids into a place where you were just going to get your ass whooped. So there was a bit of a privilege there. And and I think, look, I probably could have used a good amount of time in jail and I would have certainly learned my lesson, but I'm
a little time.
Yeah. But I'm going to say, I do appreciate this white skin and Detroit being such a racially divided city that it benefited me a lot. But yeah, I did not want to go to real prison, and especially for being an addict. And then, dude, back then, I remember the scared straight thing too, one guy goes, "How much you been?" One guy looks over at another guy sitting on a crate, and he goes, "How many times you been fucked up your ass?" And he goes, "About 50." And he goes, "He's for real."
Oh my God.
And he's just staring at me.
It was me.
And then like another guy came in and he goes, "What? We ain't all gay. Stop telling them that shit that all we do is fucking here. Come on, man." And I was like, "Which one's the real one?" Like, am I gonna get raped, or is it? So they would do that, and I would spend like a weekend or a few days in jail and a little bit of juvie, but other than that, it wasn't as too severe.
It seems like you just kept getting lucky, but in reality, it was way worse for you. And at some point,
Absolutely.
Especially when you worked at that pharmacy, that was more just luck of
happenstance.
Stealing prescription pills on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And you get in trouble for stealing PB crisps.
That's correct. Which I have to admit, I don't know if you ever had PB crisps for the short amount of time that they were around. They were as good as Vicodin. They were a delight. But yeah,
another part I laughed out loud at was you describing them as your precious beloved crisps.
Dude, they were so good. I was always high, and like it was the perfect stoner treat. So I would just take that and drink a Coke and go and steal a pack of cigarettes, take the cellophane, fill it with pills. But this was at a time where this was even before the oxy boom.
Mm-hmm.
So it was way before they were prescribing it to literally everybody and anybody who wanted it. So they weren't really counting it. Like the controlled substances, they were controlled, but they weren't being watched the way they are now. They did it by weight, but they're in these jugs that are like, they're massive.
Oh.
So it's like, it doesn't matter. You can fill an ice cream cone with them and the weight's not going to change all that much. So I would walk out with 5 and 10 Valiums, Percocets, morphine patches once or twice, which were, I get why Bela Lugosi loved that shit. But it was, we got very lucky. And my friend had been doing it for so long. He's the one that showed me how to do it. So I don't know how long he had been doing it. But then I would just go to school and I would, sell half and keep the other half to snort.
Yeah, like how'd you get to snorting it? Like, was that right away you snorted it, or?
No, not right away. I took them, but then I realized, from cocaine that everything just hits your blood faster. At least I thought if you snorted them. So then I would just crush them down and start snorting them.
Oh my God.
And when you mix Valium and alcohol and weed, it just makes you really, really tired. So it's not the best drug to do, but I was a very anxious kid. And like the first one, I'd feel like, oh, this is great. But it's the same as if you snort a Xanax. It wouldn't really, I mean, I've done it, but it doesn't really make any difference what way it goes in. You feel pretty good within a certain amount of time. Mm-hmm. And if it's all chopped up like that, it's going to dissolve through your system faster anyway. So you end up doing more and more and more. And I would do I do 10, 12 blues a night,
Jesus.
Holy shit.
But then wouldn't you just kind of pass out? Because the first time I ever did a Xanax, I did one of the big blue things. And I thought, based on what people had told me, and like, it's a great drug, that it was kind of going to be, I don't know, similar to Percocet or something, where you get high and you feel good.
Yeah.
I took it and I passed out for like 6 hours.
Same.
And then I woke up just really groggy. And I'm like, it's the worst fucking drug I've ever taken in my life. I don't have a problem sleeping. I didn't need that at all.
Yeah. It's for if you have extreme panic attacks and you take the right dosage, you're going to feel a lot better and it's going to calm you. And part of calming you, it's going to make you tired. So it's really reserved for just severe anxiety. Yeah. And the people who use it for fun, I would do the same thing, because that's kind of what Valiums were. I talked about that a bit in the book, where even in the 60s through the early 80s, it was the most prescribed drug in America, given to tons of housewives. And it was even Mother's Little Helper by the Rolling Stones is about Xanax, because it would calm down moms that had to deal with kids, or was about Valium, which it's a benzo. It's in the same family.
Okay.
So they're both benzos. And I remember, dude, I would be drunk, then I'd snort some Xanax, and then I'd just wake up somewhere. And I wouldn't really know where. I'd just be like behind a couch in someone's house, and I'm like, okay, just need to figure out where I am because of this.
There were a lot of stories where you just woke up somewhere.
Yes,
I can't wait to do that again. That was fun.
Yeah, that's
teleported.
that's the thing is you just keep going, and so many memories of my life are just not there or ever going to come back, and I've had to piece together through friends.
That's what we were going to ask you is, how did you remember these stories?
Yeah, the way you describe things, I'm like, I can't remember yesterday with the amount of detail you have for shit that happened fucking 20, 30 years ago.
I remember the stuff then because of some, I guess you would call it the trauma that was involved with it, and how terrifying it was and how it stuck in my brain. But other parts were told to me by friends exactly what happened, even when I was writing the book. Yeah. Because I do remember, like, where I was hiding in certain places and cops walking in. I remember like yelling 5-0, and like there were things that I specifically remember. And once you get to jail, you always sober up.
Yeah.
So you kind of start having a bit of a recollection of the evening. But I'd say, I don't remember a lot of stuff from when I was a kid.
Oh my God. We were saying before, like, you were just the biggest piece of shit. It's amazing your parents kept you alive. Really. It's like, what the fuck? Oh my God.
I think it's like, because up until like 13, I was the best kid. And then after that, 12, because the first time I ever got suspended, my teacher was bending over, and I go, I was leaving for the bathroom, and I go, "Hey, Toots," and I cracked her in the ass with a ruler.
Oh my God.
And the whole school was going on this Washington, D.C. field trip, and I was banned from the field trip. So I had to go to school and just sit there in a room with like 4 other bad kids who were like really bad. But then I became friends with them, and I remember we were lighting off black cats in the classroom. So then they just sent us home until the DC trip was done.
And how it happens.
It seemed like you never worried about getting in trouble, quote unquote.
I did. I didn't care. I don't know what it was. I should say I didn't care, but I always looked at, like, I could live in the moment then, because I had a feeling I was going to be caught or something at any minute for something else I was doing. So I just didn't think about repercussions. And what's sad is I kept learning lessons, but then I never learned the lesson. Like, there's so many times where it's like, okay, so you've learned by now. This is number 3. And then I'm, snorting coke and doing everything you're not supposed to do, and doing just things that I'm very, very hopeful my son won't get into, thanks to all the cameras around.
That's a question I have, because I have a son now too, and if he gets into half the shit I ended up doing in my youth, I don't know. I'm not even sure how I'm going to react to it, other than you have this ideal in your head, like, well, I'm just going to talk to him. I'm going to listen to what he says and try to guide him. But if my dad tried to do that, I'd probably call him a faggot. Like, how do you think you're going to deal with your son if he follows the path that you've set?
Yes, no, that's true. How would I do it? Well, I feel how you do, because you don't want to be his friend, but I'm also in a way his friend, and more supportive, in the sense of I haven't forced him to do anything except, be good in school. But he chose playing drums. He chose playing baseball. He chose playing football. I let him guide his own interests, so he didn't feel like me, where I was like forced to do something, even though I wanted to do other things. But he will ask me about it. And I mean, the sobering realization is I will tell him how much it sucked. Like, it'll seem funny and the stories are good and all that, but it was extremely painful. Like, the amount of pain I caused my parents while my dad was sick, the amount of girls who absolutely loved me, who walked away from me because I was a drunk and I just could not get my shit together. People who I really loved, like losing people that were very, very close to me. That's in the book. I lost a lot of friends to the same lifestyle, and it was extraordinarily shitty. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were some good times. I'm not going to pretend every day was awful, and I don't even think I would tell my son that, but it's the darkest road you can possibly go down, is to just become a drug addicted alcoholic who absolutely has no self-esteem. You quit believing in yourself and you're broken, and it affects you into adulthood. And the story, like I said, yeah, the stories are fun, but I was incapable of learning a lesson because I was so fucking mad at the world.
Huh. But
You know?
I don't know, you know, like it's a book, so I don't know your full life, but it seemed like your parents were kind of cool, not cool with what you were doing, but like let you do it and stuff. And it was like, was it just like your dad's impending death and stuff that made life so cruel?
Yeah. My mom, even though she was an RN, was relatively ignorant to what I was doing.
RN stands for real nigga.
Yes, right. She was a registered real. It's the best line of this podcast. So she was. So yeah, she was, and even though she was an OG, like you said, she didn't really realize what I was getting into.
But how did she not realize it? It seemed like every day you were getting
you were in the newspaper for ruining someone's house.
Yeah. There was certainly a denial coming from her, and she also knew it was my friends too, but there was certainly a denial. She just didn't know a lot about weed, and it wasn't her thing ever in her life. Like I remember when I was walking out of the house going to get high one day, and she goes, "Are you gonna go do the do?" And I go, "What do you mean?" Like I burst out laughing. I go, "Yeah, we're gonna go surfing on a Mountain Dew wave." It's like, this is exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go do the do, Mom. I'm like, I've been stealing money from you to buy Mountain Dew. You idiot. And
I guess that's true. Like they're just so out of the loop. They weren't exposed to it at all, so they don't know
even what she
happens.
was like unintentionally inferring, like Mountain Dew and weed. That's not even what you were doing. You were doing coke and Vicodin.
Yeah. And it was like, dude, she's using a slang that's never existed, you know? So I'm just laughing at like how naive she was. But my dad did know. But the problem was when my dad got sick, he had become a self-made millionaire. He did very well for himself after being raised in no father, he's a great athlete. And when he got brain cancer from Vietnam, Agent Orange, the VA did nothing. They did absolutely nothing to help us. So they're fighting this the whole time, but my dad's paying out of pocket for brain surgery. And this is to like live in Boston at Harvard Hospital, live in Ann Arbor. So he couldn't be there as much as he could be just because, and I mean, he was tough as nails. Like he would have that halo drilled into his head and he would go golfing and stuff. Like he just was a very tough dude. But the tumor was on his brainstem, so it would affect his ability to walk. It would, it did horrific damage. And you're talking about millions of dollars in surgery.
Wow.
And so when he wasn't around, he had always been my coach and kind of a guide. And then after he left, I had an anger. I had a sense of abandonment, which was not their fault, which I've had to look at in therapy, but that's how I felt, whether I knew it or not. And then I had an extraordinary anger at authority. I had no respect for any of them. I didn't care.
Obvious in the book, yeah.
So it's like teachers, anybody. Like a couple teachers I liked, they helped me, but I just had no respect for authority, and it still bothers me a bit to this day. Like I remember being in a backyard when I was a kid, probably like 17, and this guy, my friend's dad, comes up to me and goes, "Hey, I love your dad. He's a great guy, but I just need you to stay the hell away from my son. Like I never want to see you here again." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And then he would come out to my shows in Detroit and be like, "I always knew you were going to be a comic." And I was like, "Fuck you."
Wow.
I was a teenager and you said to me in the backyard the worst thing you could say to a teenager who was going through something like that. Like all you did was like reinforce how worthless I was. And I just remember sitting there, you know.
I can kind of see his point of view, though. Like,
he's not wrong.
You're a horrible kid. I don't want you influencing my kid at the most influential part of his life. You know?
He was kind of saying like, "Hey, I really like your dad, and my favorite thing he did was punch you in the face and knock you out."
Yeah, he certainly wasn't wrong. I'll give you that. He was spot on to worrying about what we could have done and what we were doing.
Wrong to then see you later in life and be like, "Hey, now that you're doing great, I'm a fan."
Yeah,
like, fuck you. You should open with an apology at the very least.
Yes, you could at least say, "Hey, maybe I should have taken 5 minutes to talk to you the way that your dad coached my son for so many years."
Right.
Who was kind of a crybaby bitch whenever he struck out. But you know what I mean? So that bothers me because we had a kid, my brother's good friend who was 13 when we met him, and his dad was in prison and his mom was on drugs, and my dad kind of helped raise this kid. And I remember one time we're 13, we're sitting in my dad's van driving around, going to a hockey game. And Levi, I just said his name, lights up a cigarette. And I'm like, you're just going to let him do that? He's a kid. And he's like, he's had a very different life than yours. Shut up. And I was like, okay. And he's just smoking in the car at 13. Wow. But I realized because of the rough neighborhood my dad was raised in, like the way that he grew up in Detroit, his dad left the day he was born. He had nothing. He was left to fight for himself, but he never complained or bitched about it. I learned more about it when he had died, but his goal was to be a good father. And he was. And what sucks is I feel like I felt very short of that at the end when he died, you know, when I was a teenager. And it's like, that was the crappy part, was because he did do a really good job. And my own rebelliousness and his inability to get there and help me was sort of just, it was two terrible worlds colliding at the same time.
It seems like it was out of everyone's control.
Yeah.
Like, brain cancer really, as it affected him in that it killed him, but it turned you into you. You were obviously rebelling against the world fucking you in the ass and taking your dad away. Yeah. Like, it seems extremely obvious to me that that's the entirety of your acting out, was that life's not fair, so fuck life.
And when I talk about it a bit in the book, and when I lost friends and I had to go, I was one of the first people there to see people dead, and it's in the book. But I had the realization any one of us could have done that when most people were unforgiving, which I thought was a fairly mature way in hindsight to look at it. But I also wanted it to have been me. Like, I had no desire to be alive anymore. Like, it
didn't seem like it. It seemed like you were trying to kill yourself.
I was slowly trying to do it anytime I took a ton of drugs, like, and went to bed, and many times I took like half a bottle of Vicodin, chugged back a pint of Captain's, but then I would wake up and I wouldn't really talk to anybody about it. But I mean, once I started getting to like delusionary tremens is when my dad realized it. Cause I had to tell my dad, I'm like, look, Dad, like, there's a party going on in the other room filled with people that are silent and aren't really here. And I can see them as plain as I can see you. And because he had been a combat medic, he knew exactly what I was going through. I mean, I was on my way to having wet brain. And he's like, well, it's a delusionary tremens. You're hallucinating because you're withdrawing from alcohol. And dude, I was shaking. I was like, and I'm a kid. But I mean, I needed alcohol every day. I needed it. It wasn't just, I wanted it. I needed it to focus and to stop shaking. And that was the first time I went to rehab.
What? So because in the book you go to the loony bin and then it says they send you to rehab, but you actually went to rehab first before that?
No. In the book, that was the second time. The first time was just a quick, like, outpatient trying to get me help. I was there for a couple of days. When I went to real rehab was, in the book, where I told it slightly different on This Is Not Happening, because you don't want to go, you can't really open a comedy show with, I tried to fight my father who had brain cancer and was dying.
You should have, actually. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah, especially because he won.
That was more of a misstep than trying to fight your father who had brain cancer at the time.
Yes, it was. Yeah, especially when he's a trained soldier, and I'm drunk, being like, "You want some of this?" I probably weighed 110 pounds, and so no.
Shit.
Yeah. So
you want some of this?
Yeah.
You can't handle this.
Yeah. What do you mean? Come on. You grew up in the streets of Detroit. We're in Vietnam. Fuck, come on. So yeah, it's like, so he, I ended up being put into a mental hospital, and I met a lot of very interesting people there, as I've talked about in the book, and but they were on a different level of being damaged, and mine was clearly addiction. And they had no idea why I was there, and they decided to send me into an actual rehab facility. And I mean, but at that time, I had been attacked by a kid who thought he was a werewolf. I remember I was sitting in a group chat, and a girl was talking about how her stepdad was molesting her, but then he was going to molest her sister. So one night when he was passed out drunk, she sharpened an ice cream scoop and tried to take out his eye, and took out a good chunk of it. But nice. I was there, and I'm going, "Oh, that's awesome!" And they're like, "Dave, we don't encourage violence." I go, "No, it's sweet though.
Yeah,
like, that's cool. Like, she saved her sister. I think you're awesome." And they're like, "Dave, we can't. She's here because we don't want." I'm like, "No, I think she's spot on."
Yeah. Exactly.
So like I had enough wherewithal to realize, like, they a lot of people there didn't even know who they were, where they were. They thought they were different people, but she was a broken girl who was abused, and I still to this day, I think she should get a Medal of Honor.
Yeah,
I think we should be encouraging her to go for the other eye.
Exactly. And the mom didn't believe it right up until
her sweet daughter did this. Yeah.
Until the daughter, because she told the mom, and the mom's just in denial. And then all of a sudden, you're using a sharpened scoop to turn your stepdad's face into a tub of ice cream.
That was some of the like unintentional comedy in the book, where you go to this loony bin and you get out, and they send you to rehab. And I'm like, all right, the next chapter is going to be about Dave in rehab. Nope, you're just back to your partying ways and get fucked up and go into a house party or whatever it was.
Yeah. Do this. Sorry.
Sorry, you said unintentional humor. I just want to read just a very quick intentional humor, because I reread this 3 times, and every time it makes me laugh, because you wrote the book in your voice, which is, it's harder than I think people give credit for. It's hard to do, to actually write something that sounds like you're just talking and it got written down.
I wanted you to feel it like it was being a story told to you and not something you had to muscle through. I wanted it to be fast and fun.
It definitely, it's a quick, not that it's small or short or anything, but it's a quick read. You just fly through it. Yeah.
And it's very much, like, you don't want to put it down because you're just reading Dave talking about being a piece of shit. It's so funny. But this is one of my favorite fucking lines in the whole thing. It's when you got caught stealing PB crisps at the pharmacy, and the old man who ran the pharmacy sat you down, and he said, you've been stealing, and you said, "I played dumb. Who do you think has been stealing?" Amos locked eyes with me. "You have." "Well, fuck my tits." He was right, and I was in deep shit. I reread that like 5 times, and every time I got to, "Well, fuck my tits," he was right. I just fucking crack up.
Dude, I'm not kidding.
Saying that.
We have a guest on my show tonight who's an author, and he gave me his book, and I gave him mine, and the first thing he opens up and reads, he goes, "Well, fuck my tits." I swear to God. He just started bursting out into laughter.
It's a home run.
Thank you, man. It means a lot to me. And like, I hope people connect with it and enjoy it. And yeah, it's a lot of things I'm not proud of. And there were a couple I had to take out of the book because I'm like, I don't know the statute of limitations on some of this.
I don't know if I could talk about this murder rape I was a part of.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't a rape, but the guy certainly got hurt.
Now, what's it like taking a hit of Ritz crackers in a bong?
Super embarrassing. And dude, it's the most dry awful. It's like choking on a cloud that feels like Triscuit. And like, right. And dude, when I was so drunk when I looked at that, and I thought it was just pure white, crystallized, amazing cock. And it was just Ritz crackers crumbled up because everybody knew I was wasted. And I mean, dude, I filled the bong. So it was like a nice milky white smoke.
God.
And then when I pulled it and it hit, it was just like the driest, worst feeling that you should never have. And I could not stop coughing. Just and that was my friend Stu, and then my friend Anthony, who I call him Tony in the book, but I talked to his sister about him and what I could talk about, and they were very happy to see that he was in the book. He was a really good kid, good guy.
Yeah, he was like not the hero of the book, but like the nicest person in the book. The way
he was
talked about him,
he was a really good dude, and it's a shame, and people can read about it and see how it goes. But he really was an old soul, one of those people that just you always had a feeling he wasn't going to be around forever, and he knew it. But he also had this. He came from another place in a different time. But boy, did he love watching me smoke Ritz that
day. Now, who is this? John Wiederhorn that wrote the book with you.
John Wiederhorn did kind of like punch up on the book, just in the sense of structuring.
Okay.
It was fortunate. I was very happy that I wrote it the way that I did, and he liked the way that it read. So he just wanted to structure it so it seemed like a good conversation. And John, he's a rock author, so he's done books on Ministry, Scott Ian from Anthrax.
Nice.
He's got about 10 or 12 books out that are all co-written with rock stars. Huh. So I met him through Don Jameson, actually, at Compound, because Don introduced me to him in 2019, and I was telling him that I was thinking about writing a book. So I ended up clicking with him, and it was great feedback when he would call me and be like, is this fucking real? And he's been writing stuff for Ministry and L. Jorgensen, and he's like, this is a lot.
No, it's just story after story where you're like, holy fucking shit, what a piece of shit this guy constantly.
I know. I try to put my humility of now into the stories of then, to realize, because I want to be like, I don't want to flat out say it, but it's like, I know this is wrong in hindsight, but I want to tell you this story.
For a guy that keys his grandma's car. It's like, wow.
I don't know. I was more impressed with how just in the moment savvy you were in some situations, specifically when you were robbing car stereos out of a junkyard, got caught, and then somehow got the cops to like arrest
the people
that caught you.
Yeah, the knife.
Yeah,
because we were so lucky that we didn't have any of the stuff we stole in there. Not that anybody would have wanted it. Like I said, I wasn't good at it. It wasn't like I was casually taking stairs. I'm just ripping apart a dashboard. And
I believe you said you cracked a dashboard in half.
Yes.
I was having a hard time even picture, like, how do you even fuck it up that much?
Well, yeah, like even when my buddy, I can't get into this one, it was an Astro van. He just smashes the window with a rock, and then we realized the door was open the whole time. And we're on acid, so like we're just giggling our dicks off right up until we realized that we might go to jail. But it was that was very lucky that we got off, and the only reason why we did is because I'm like, well, he had a knife, And they were like, wait, did you pull a knife on teenagers? The guy's like, no. And I'm like, all right, he's lying to a cop. This might work out in our favor.
I just love that you described it as Terry Funk and Jake the Snake came out.
Dude, it was the exact kind of people that would own the shadiest car lot imaginable in Detroit in the 90s. Just straight up white trash. smash, dude.
What do you think they would have done if the cops didn't show up? Because from what you describe, it sounds like they were about to stab a bunch of teenagers.
I think they were probably going to stab us, or at least one of us, until they realized that they just stabbed a kid, and then the cops would come. But I don't think we would have walked away completely unfeathered, if you will. But we had a blackjack in the car, which they didn't find, thankfully. And like I said, we had the Slim Jim, which can't be a great weapon, but I imagine we would have just had to grab anything that we had and fight them and probably lose, seeing as I'm tripping balls. Like, I'm not going to fight you.
Anytime I've been on acid, being in a fight doesn't seem like something that's even possible.
It seems like the worst idea. It's like fighting on ecstasy. You just can't do it.
It's undoable.
Yes.
I was glad to read in the book, because I've admitted myself that on ecstasy, I've given friends a back rub. And then you said you did it too.
Oh God, couple of homos. What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
I've taken Molly. I've taken ecstasy. I've never had the urge to touch a man.
You don't have friends, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you don't have people that realize
guy in the world. I think that's what it is.
Well, I think you're not comfortable with your sexuality. But I think
I'm comfortable with it. I fuck men.
Yeah, like it was more done to me where like somebody would be like rubbing my shoulders. Yeah. I used to make money every night just massaging my friends. We had this guy, dude. We used to. I didn't put in the book. I probably should have. But we used to always party at his house. I think I mentioned the E in it, where it may have made my blood pressure drop, and I thought I was going to die. But we would be at his house, and he owned a painting company that my friend worked for. And he was always like, "It sure is hot out. You can take your shirts off." Like we didn't even connect the dots, you know. And I remember one time he was just staring at me. He's like, "Those are comfortable shoes. Can I see your comfortable shoes?" And I go, yeah. And I gave them to him, and he just started smelling them. And I was like, okay. But I was rolling. So like I didn't realize this guy's just not on E, and he's going to try to fuck one of us. So he stopped hanging out there. But that's when you found out like any touching, like my girlfriend touched, or not my friend's girlfriend, like did this just on my knees for 2 seconds. And it was probably better than any sex I've ever had. It was just the most insanely pleasurable feeling.
Well,
but no matter,
you've clearly never jerked off for 4 hours on Molly.
Well, actually, I have had sex for 3 hours on Molly, and to the point where I think the girl was hurt.
Yeah, well, my penis and balls turned blue, and I got very scared.
Dude, you can't come.
You can, but you're like, it's a never-ending edge session because it feels good just to jerk off, and you're like in control of it. So I was just like, I could do this forever.
Yeah. Well, any girl I was with would always put on ecstasy music of the time, so you're listening to like the dance remix of Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper, and like that Castles in the Sky song, or Bad Boy Bill, or even you might hear some DJ Godfather, like ass and titties, ass, titties, titties. So you're distracted by the music the whole time too, because you're like, I just like all this. All my senses are just overwhelmed with joy.
Now, were you around when like Eminem started in Detroit? Were you there for that, or that was
it had to be?
Yeah. He was known locally as a rap battle. He actually worked at a place as a busboy across the street from the place we stole cars. We knew of him. It was a lot like Kid Rock. Kid Rock had an album in 1990, but I was very young. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It was like something sandwiches.
Ball with the Boss sandwiches.
Ball with the Boss sandwiches. Thank you. It's also his restaurant, which is on it's on 10 Mile, where it's safer. But people had heard of him, and him and Royce the 5'9" were great, and they had a group called Bad Meets Evil, and Dre heard that and brought in Eminem, and this was 99 or 98, and when he showed up, he's like, "You're white?" But he liked him. But Dr. Dre had no clue he was white, because everything was just done through CDs, and and if you listen to the Bad Meets Evil album, he doesn't quite have that Eminem voice yet. He just has
that's what I was going to say. Like, if you hear his voice, he sounds like a geeky white guy.
Especially now. I mean, if you even go back to kind of the Marshall Mathers LP or the Slim Shady LP, there's still like, there's him now, but there is something about his voice that you could say could be a black dude.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, that was big. A lot of that stuff was really big because raves were massive. And like raves, hip hop, rap battles, backyard wrestling was really big back then. Death matches, which were pretty cool to go and watch. I would never want to do them, but my friends would. You know, and there's just people, you know, using barbed wire and glass and trying to be like ECW, and you're just in some backyard in the hood watching a guy with like a 3-colored mohawk bleed out of a scar on his face that's permanent.
Now, if your dad was a self-made millionaire, how come it seemed like you were living in like a rundown neighborhood?
Oh, no, I didn't want it to seem run down. What it was we grew up in Grosse Pointe Woods, which is a nice neighborhood on the border of Harper Woods. But what it was it was as like middle class as you could be. Okay. So if I went too far on one side, you would be in a very rough area. And if you went to the other side, which is where I went to school, it was very, very wealthy. Auto industry money, all that stuff. So Detroit is a very interesting dividing line. Like, even there's been magazines and TV shows that have done the street called Mack Avenue, where one side is some of the most economically rich people in the country, and the other side, especially in the late 90s, was the most violent neighborhood in America. Like that in St. Louis. So like, I mean, when I started doing comedy, I would do an improv show at a bar called the Village Idiot on the Detroit side, because the Grosse Pointe cops wouldn't come over there. The Detroit cops didn't give a shit. And I could do $5 all you could drink Coors, because that's also illegal, but they didn't care. And it was mostly underage people. I mean, I think I was 20. So it was, you know, we'd put on these huge bar shows, but I would experience both sides of it. Like, in the same day, I could be in somebody's backyard that had cameras, which was crazy, 2 swimming pools and Ferraris. But I could have also been at my other friend's house, whose parents sold weed for a living off of 7 Mile and Gratiot. And it would all just interchange depending on who, and we were all friends. You know, we never, you know, a lot of the rich kids were insecure about being rich. A lot of the poor kids were insecure about being poor, and everybody kind of got along. But it was interesting because I saw both sides of life, wealth and extremely poor. And still to this day, I can't tell you who was happier a lot of the time, you know, like there was
the rich ones.
Yeah, probably.
It was definitely the ones with the Ferrari and pool. They were the happy ones.
That guy was happy. I'll give you that one. But the other ones, you're just like, talk about Valium. I'm like, did I sell you something? Because the mom's just fucking passed out after holding a highball and taking Valium all day, while her husband's just dicking down a secretary, and she knows it.
Now, how does Detroit work? There's 7 Mile, 8 Mile, 10 Mile?
7, 8, 9, 10, 6 as well. It all just goes up. So all the way.
All the numbers.
So good numbers. So I thought. So 8 Mile is sort of the last part. I grew up off of 8 Mile and Harper. It's sort of the last part of the hood, and then it goes into 9 Mile, which is nicer. 10, 11, 12, all that's very nice. So where Eminem grew up, for example, was like a trailer park in one of I guess his wasn't a trailer park, but in the movie it was. But he had, unfortunately, the house is gone now, but I brought my son by it because my son likes Eminem through the neighborhood. But it was just a horrible, horrible neighborhood off of 8 Mile in Detroit. And that was, I mean, he grew up in extreme poverty, where like Kid Rock has talked about how, you know, his dad owned a car dealership. He was over by like 15 Mile. He was pretty far out. But yeah, Eminem, and really one of the most interesting artists to have grown up in squalor was Jack White.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Big time, yeah. Yeah, there's even a story of him just beating the shit out of one of the Von Bondies.
I don't know them.
Yeah, they started crap with him in Detroit, and then they realized that apparently he could fight, and people didn't try it with him anymore, which is crazy because it's Jack White, but he lived in the hood for real.
Wow.
This motherfucker for real.
He's for real. But yeah, I mean, we grew up around all that music. I mean, obviously there was the ICP, I'll admit it, and we had Isham, who I liked, and it was we had a pretty cool music scene just being there.
Now, I don't know if you say you might save this for a second book, but can you tell us about feeding a cheeseburger to a Sasquatch?
Oh, I gotcha. There was we were all taking tons of acid, and we were at a we'll just say local celebrities' daughters with her,
Okay.
on spring break vacation. And for some reason, on acid that I was the entire time, I kept warning people of a Sasquatch that would come and would eat all of our food. And I was saying this for days. So all of a sudden, we're all outside and we're eating, and I just hear Sasquatch, and then I look down, and my friends are throwing cheeseburgers at this huge Saint Bernard. who loves him, dude. and we're like, you got to keep feeding him. He's going to kill us all. Like we were just sort of in this. It's like this friendly dog, but I'm sure we were aware it was a Saint Bernard, but we also were just enjoying the idea that it was a Sasquatch. So then a guy pulls up in his golf cart and he goes, "Oh, that's Betsy. Did you want to pet Betsy?" We're like, yeah, we'll pet Betsy. And my friend goes, "You named your Sasquatch Betsy." He goes, "What?" And then he's like, "You didn't feed her, did you?" And we're like, no. He's like, yeah. He's like, "Yeah, she's never had people food." And we're like, "Yeah, not a bite." She's had 7 cheeseburgers. So this guy just sees us though and realizes, because like half of it's a spring break, half people aren't wearing shirts, I'm smoking, we're grilling, like it's this obvious bunch of degenerates in a very nice home where we don't belong. And the guy took off and we were like, "Man, that's crazy, got a Sasquatch named Betsy."
Now
that dog that's never had human food before probably shit a fucking mountain of diarrhea.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? But he loved it. And I had a lot of friends though too, where I always question when people say that, because my friend Jack had a Rottweiler and I fed him food all the time. And then one day he's sitting there and he's like, I'm like, "Oh, can I give him a fry or whatever?" He goes, "Oh, no. He's never had people food." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know how to tell you this. When you're not here, he's had fucking everything." I've seen him eat pizza. Why do you think he's following me more than you, and you're the owner?
Yeah, it's a dog. It can eat everything but chocolate. They'll eat a fucking car tire.
Yeah, dude,
you can feed it anything, really.
Dude, I grew up eating our scraps of food, or whatever we didn't want. Yeah,
that's why they became domesticated and started following us around. Dude, my dog caught a bird out of the air because it was low. It's a 7-pound cavapoo, and he caught the bird and ripped its head off. And I was like, "What are you?" And he just like walked up, just sitting there, all happy with it in his mouth, like, "I've brought a gift." And I'm like, "I don't want to talk to you for a while."
My dog used to catch possum in the park and then pick him up by the neck and just try to bring him home. It's like, what do you think's going to happen here?
we had a Rottweiler. I loved her. She was my kind of one of my first, really my dogs, and she would always chase squirrels. And we're like, "Oh, it's so funny. She thinks she's going to catch the squirrels." And then one day I go to mow the lawn and there is a pile of dead squirrels, like a serial killer, just like trophies behind my garage. There's just like 10 dead squirrels with broken necks and a stack.
Every day she went out, she did that roll in all the dead bodies.
Dude, yeah, where I didn't know and just coming in, I'm petting her. Oh, good girl. Yeah, and I looked, dude, just a stack of dead squirrels, like it was just fucking John Wayne Gacy.
Now, what's the origin? I have to look up your lingo. Roke Dolge.
We wrote
smoking weed would be Roke Dolge.
We roke the Dolge. So that's what we would say as a code word.
As a code. Oh, okay.
So we'd walk around in school and be like, "Hey, what do you want to do later? You want to roke some Dolge?" And then be like, "Oh yeah, what's roke Dolge?" And then it became, you'd yell in the hallways like "roke and Dolge," and just sort of, that was one of those things that we just used. And the other thing was there was a kid. His name was Ryan Thompson, and he would finish, like if he drank a 40 and had this much left, he would drink like the shit left at the bottom.
Yeah, the washback, yeah.
Yeah, so we called it the Rompsons. And and some of the people that we hung out with, they would just drink the Rompsons. Like my friend Dumpster would fill a 40 with everybody's Rompsons and then just drink it. So that was like another thing was drinking the Rompsons. Yeah, that was but yeah, roke Dolge was just a code word, and it still makes me laugh because it's so ridiculous.
And I assume your friend Dumpster was named such because he was the child of a sanitation worker.
Yeah, that's correct. No, he was he's still around. I like Donnie. Donnie was crazy. Still is.
Shocking.
Dumpster, crazy. Dumpster would always crack me up, but he was a guy he was good around if you were ever going to be in a fight too. Because Dumpster just wanted to fight. There was just a part of him that just needed to fight. But he was just nuts, dude. And he wasn't like mentally challenged, but there was something wrong just with his mind. And I know if he's listening to this, he's got to understand what I'm talking about, because he just he's the guy who would pick up cigarette butts and smoke whatever was left in them. But yeah, he was just that guy who everything he did was pretty gross. So we called him Dumpster.
There's another guy from your youth I want to ask about. If you had any more run-ins with him, because there's one in the book. It's the guy you stole stereos for. Rorken.
Yes. Rorken I saw periodically when I would go by his house, but I never, ever, ever bought any more drugs from him. Like he was built up as this legend to me of like, this is the guy you don't mess with, And then when I meet him and he's like, check out my katanas. I'm just like, this is the worst person.
And because didn't you say you went to his house and he was like, get in, I don't want anybody to see you, but he meant his parents who owned the house. He didn't mean the cops or the feds or anything.
Oh dude, my buddy I was with seriously goes like, who's watching you, the popos, feds? And he's like, oh no, my parents, man, if they see me selling drugs to minors again, they're gonna be so pissed. And he had a tether on, and he's working on his Firebird, and it was just, dude, it was ridiculous. And right away he's like, do you want to steal some car stereos and I can give you a discount on the acid? I'm like, we'll just pay for the acid. I think that's fine. And my friend's like, no, let's do the stereos. I'm like, why do we have to do this? I'm dressed like a member of the Foot Clan going into a terrible lot and destroying cars.
And it wasn't like you didn't have the money on you. You had the amount you needed.
Right. It's like sucking
on you.
Why have to go steal car stereos now for a $200 discount or whatever?
Exactly. It's like sucking a dick for crack when you have a giant bag of crack. You're like, well, just in case I want more later. Like it was the dumbest. It was one of the most ridiculous human beings I had ever met in my life. And I had met a lot of drug dealers, I'd met a lot and a lot of them were too. They were some of the richer kids. And they were somehow able to get their hands on coke. And I just remember like people pointing guns in my face and just being, like, are you a narc? And I'm like, do you really think I'm a police officer? I'm 16. Would you stop? Like, take the gun. And I had a friend named, we called him Ogre Louie because he was just this giant monster. He actually went to jail because he beat the shit out of somebody at the pharmacy I worked and robbed the pharmacy.
Nice.
But yeah, Ogre
You would
Louie.
rob a pharmacy.
Yeah, piece of shit.
I know, right? Garbage.
A crate of PB crisps.
Yeah, there's no need to have violence. But I remember one day this kid, and he was in a robe like the whole nine, and just pointing a gun and threatening me. And he's like, the second you put that gun down, I'm gonna fuck you up. And the guy's like, whatever, thought he was tough. Second he set the gun down, Ogre Louie just beat the fucking shit out of this guy. It was so funny. And then he just picked up the gun, put it in his pocket, and we left.
He stole his gun?
Yeah, he's like, fuck you. You didn't point that at people.
That's code of the streets.
I guess so.
You got to take the gun.
But dude, yeah, he was just beating the shit out of him. And I'm just laughing because I'm like, you were calling me a narc, and now there's a dude who's clearly not one just bashing your face in.
Did you at least get the drugs?
Oh yeah. For
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And still paid, so they could never come back and say, like, we didn't, maybe Ogre robbed him, but I didn't see it. It would have been very magic like if he did.
I'll see you in small claims court.
Yeah.
Now, what was the story behind your friend that got a van that said nuke proof on it?
Yeah.
Why would someone, like, where did the van come from?
Why would anyone? That's the question. The van came from a Detroit auction lot. And
But was it like a business van that their business was called nuke proof or something? Or
no, I think it was just to let you know that you were high. It could have been nuke proof, but it was a cherry red Volkswagen van. And it said nuke proof in like green letters that looked like Slimer letters from like the old the old the old high C drinks, And then on the back it had two roaches on it. And then the top of it was checkerboard, but it was black and white checkerboard like a dance floor. And then when you go inside, the entire thing is cow print. And then when we go down to it, the whole thing, cow print, we come down and he goes, check this out. And he turns it on and it's like well-placed, like put in Christmas lights all over the entire van. So it's just this stone. And he had a horn that was like one of those mariachi horns. So when he beeped in the driveway, my brother,
Sriracha or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. It was like, and my brother's like, you got to come see this shit. Because he was the last kid in the world who should have this too. It was our buddy Bean Crow. And we come, and my dad's just like looking at this car going, Dean, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, you're like, why didn't you get any car that wasn't this? This is just a red flag going down the road.
It's the drug addict mobile.
It was, but we never got stopped in it. Like cop cars would seriously pull up next to us and go, and then drive away. I don't know if they appreciated the honesty, but yeah, it was. I believe very strongly it had to have been a drug dealer's car, and that that's why it was auctioned off. The police auction. And his dad was like, we'll get him that van. And I don't know what the hell he was thinking.
It had to be cheap. Who wants to buy that van?
I guarantee you one bid. And they were like, you can, all right, $80 sold.
But I mean, for a high schooler, that's got like a dream. A carpeted van with lights on it,
the
and
fuck-mobile.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, it was awesome. Like we still drove around in it, completely aware of how ridiculous it was, and went down to raves. But yeah, you're driving around what feels like a weed ice cream truck in a time where weed is nowhere near legal yet.
I'm just disappointed you didn't have a picture of it in the book.
Dude, I need to find one. I gotta find Bean Crow to have him. Like my brother still talks to him on a rare occasion, but if anybody's is listening, because I know people from my high school watch what I do. If you have any picture of nuke proof, please send it to me because it's it's the greatest thing you'll ever see. You won't understand why it exists. Like if it was like the Orkin Man, then it makes sense.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
Now, Dave, I don't know how much time you have. I know we've had you for over an hour now, but we do have a couple people that super chatted in that wanted to say hi.
All right.
So Let me just throw off all the fun and go to that. I'm gonna read them in
All
highest
the fun. I can't believe what those say.
I'll read them in highest paid order. Caddy Thorogood. Hey, Caddy. He says, I miss Dave. After he joined Anthony's show, I seen him over 10 times live as a comic.
Wow.
Thank you, Caddy. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I miss Anthony's show.
Yeah, I saw you gave him a nice shout out at the back of the book.
I did, yeah.
Nice of you. Yeah.
In the back of the book.
Well, and the acknowledgments.
Yes.
Yeah.
I dedicated
Brad Garrett in the front, Anthony in the back.
We have to... Yeah, I wanted to keep the liberal and the Republican as far away from each other as humanly possible.
Oh, I wouldn't assume Brad's a liberal.
It's
Either
weird.
way, I don't care.
He doesn't like Trump, and people get pissed at him for that. But he also hates Gavin Newsom. Like, I don't think he just likes politicians.
Oh, okay.
So people say so people are like, he has TDS, and I'm like, well, in fairness though, I have never seen one he likes. So I think it's just an across the board thing for him.
All right.
The next super chat comes from Asian sumo wrestler with AIDS.
I know that guy.
And he says, my next cameo order for Dave, besides love and work advice, he's ordered 4+, scared straight as heterosexual Brian Stelter.
I would love to do that. Just explain we all have to wear shower Crocs. And just I would love to do that.
Thank you, Asian sumo wrestler with AIDS. Next, we have Gina Marie. She said, just ordered. I'm assuming in reference to the book and not pizza or drugs.
You never know.
Great to see you, Dave. My favorite fellow recovering degenerate. And she gave you, thank you for the roses. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Gina. I really appreciate that. It's always good to see somebody else who is a degenerate, which is why I dedicated the book to the degenerate.
Yeah, yes.
I had a little checklist of things I crossed off. I was like, I've also drunkenly crashed a car into a tree. I've also stolen snacks from a pharmacy when I worked there. And I've also gotten HPPD from taking too much acid.
Yeah.
Me and Dave we've had similar paths, but you blow me out by leaving.
I remember when you asked me about HPPD and I was like, yeah, is that what that is?
Yeah, because I went through a fucking nightmare where I took DMT and acid within 24 hours of each other, and then for the next month and a half, I was basically just living through the worst panic attack I ever had in my life, 24/7.
It's horrible, and then you still get you still get those visuals of stuff moving. Like if I look down at like a Oriental rug or like a piece of wood with a lot of character to it.
It just carpeting or something.
Yeah, it just starts moving like a river.
Yeah,
and that's.
I don't remember because you were talking about it on Anthony's show, just saying like, "Oh yeah, I just see stuff forever now." And after the show, or like a day later, I was like, "Dave, do you there's a thing like I had it. It's called this like hallucinogenic persisting disorder." And you were just like, that's what's going on?
And I went and I asked my doctor and he's like, well, yeah, I would assume. I mean, how much acid did you take? And I'm like, how much do I tell you to keep my insurance? A hit here or there, nothing in the fucking 500 range.
Oh my God.
Every other day for years. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. You know how kids do.
Next up is Jeff Hillman. Oh, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Dave, hello there. My favorite joke of yours is a PDF file committed suicide by giving himself a smiley. His last words were not welcome. What's your fave joke?
It's not that one. I would probably say, what did the Jewish pedophile say? Kid, do you want to buy some candy?
Is that your closer?
It's right. I believe I'm almost 99.9% sure Artie told me that one. And it's just such a perfect joke because sometimes I'll tell it and people will miss it, and then a minute later be like, "Oh my god, okay, I get it now."
Next up is Bob Fana Patrice. Hi, Bob. He says, I saw Dave twice in Richmond, once at Compound in person, and once recently in Austin. Great shows. Loved it.
Hey, dude, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Bob.
Honestly,
Very
it
nice.
means a lot that the people still support. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of people still love you. I believe it or not.
I know.
We are still big fans of the Landau.
I appreciate it a lot. Boy, if I could rewind time and not take other positions, I sure would have.
I guess that answers this next one from Johnny Clare. Do you wish you'd never left Compound for Crowder?
Every day.
But now you'd be out of a job.
Yeah,
that's true. Well, and I honestly thought that we were moving and I couldn't move there, and I took advantage of an opportunity while I had it. But dude, my goal was to be Anthony Cumia's co-host in life, and it's a ridiculous goal that somehow happened. So
your goal before it happened?
My goal was always SNL and stuff, but when I was driving around the country listening to radio, dude, O&A it became the thing that I wanted to do, and well, the A part. I mean, I don't know OP, but Anthony always was hilarious to me.
Yeah.
So to have that happen, that was a dream come true. And in hindsight, I don't know. I think I left just out of fear and just being like, I don't know where I'm going to end up. This is a good job. And then, it wasn't.
No, but that was the thing. At that time, you left probably when Anthony wanted to close down Compound.
He did,
we all
yeah.
had that inkling where it was like, oh, I don't think this is going to last that much longer.
He was
but
openly saying, I'm moving to South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's why I left, and I didn't, I guess I don't regret that in a sense, but it was really a cool thing. Like, it's where I met you guys. I loved it. There's not it wasn't even work.
No, we hung out for money. It was the best thing in the world.
Yeah. Like, dude, all I would have to do is I just take the train in. I get there at 3:59 and I've beat Anthony by 30 seconds. and then I would send him articles every now and then. He'd use them, but he always liked to kind of put the show together himself, and I respected that. So I was like, all right, dude, I just get to meet people who I like and sit next to a guy who I think is beyond a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you left right in time because he was installing a "you shut up now" button on his desk.
I know. I got it a lot when I called in that one time.
I still think about that occasionally. That Crowder had a button installed in the desk that was just like, all right, Dave, now I'm talking button.
Yeah, it was the rant button is what it was called, and they would hit
the
it.
Cunt button. It's the I'm a fucking cunt button.
Yeah, it's an odd thing because I always knew whose show it was. Like, you guys saw me as a co-host. I knew when to shut up. It's like I was never trying to be like, look over here, me. I was just trying to throw out one-liners that made people laugh and wouldn't get a black nationalist gang to turn against me. That was pretty much my goals at Crowder, where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should do this thing you're doing right now. I'm going to not be here today. We're going to reenact George Floyd. Good idea.
Yeah, those were fun sketches.
Oh, what? That was such a good idea. I was like, don't worry. There's not going to be a bunch of people that want to kill us. That's why the whole time I'm going like, stop doing this. It's all you can hear is my voice. You've made your point.
Oh my God.
But anywho,
yeah.
Jaquan G. Garrett, try your Bill Jiden joke again. Oh, fuck, I didn't have that clip ready. God damn, I'm an asshole. Dave, do you remember that?
We brought up, was he on In Hot Water or something? And we brought it up to him, I thought. Oh, no. We brought it up on In Hot Water. Dave had nothing to do with it. But then he started getting tweets about Dr. Bill
Jiden.
It was like, what's going on? Why am I getting these tweets? And it was all because I fucked up on his show.
It was honestly, it was the first time he was on your show. It was a very like, you 2 seconds later, it was like it never even happened.
Yeah.
It's just a flub. Your answer to a question was Dr. Jill Biden, but instead you said Dr. Bill Jiden. And I think we played the video of Garrett saying Dr. Bill Jiden about 5,000 times.
And there's a freeze frame of your face that Steve got perfectly where it looks like you're like super disappointed in me.
You're really looking at Garrett like you'd wish he was just dead.
I was probably just shocked. I mean, I think it's hilarious. I think we should call her Bill Jiden. Dr. Bill. The doctor is the most important part of her name to her.
He said it with such, Dr. Bill Jiden. Jill Biden. And then the camera cuts to you just.
And that was the thing. Like they had answers for everyone to use. And I'm like, no, I have my own answer. I got a good one.
Oh, it was the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember. Okay. No. Now I remember now.
Bomb right immediately. I was like, oh my God.
Got my own line.
You guys got to come back on though, for real. That was a blast.
Yeah. Anytime just let us know.
We'd absolutely love to. Yeah. It was a very fun time. Let's try to get through. I know we've been taking up a lot of your time.
You're good, man.
This one is from my wife, Caitlin. She says HPPD and now deals with that wallpaper. Yeah.
Dude, I had that same thought when you brought it up. See how I'm blank? I got a Nicolas Cage pillow.
Yeah.
I got Marvin Gaye's autograph. Other than that, I'm pretty blank over here. I don't want a lot of movement in my apartment.
I don't do psychedelics anymore, so I like, every day when I walk in here, I just kind of trip for a few seconds.
Took a little hit of acid, yeah.
Staring at the wall like, ooh.
Yeah, you just need a few minutes of confusion before you start your day. Prepares you for dementia.
Reminds me of better times where I was having a 24/7 panic attack for a month and a half.
Dude, I remember that. Has this ever happened to you? I'm like, yeah, but not for this long.
I had kind of accepted like this is the rest of my life. I'm just gonna feel bad every day, and like everything's just kind of far away. Like my vision was fucked up. Like everything seemed further away, and like my periphery vision was all kind of weird, and everything was blurry when I would turn my head. It was it's scary.
When all you think about is like Sid Barrett and every probably untrue rumor you heard, like, am I just going to think I'm a glass of orange juice for like a year? Like, because I mean, he's the guy who did actually go crazy.
That's the thing. You hear stories and you see people on the street that are out of their fucking mind. And I'm like, oh, I'm that now. I just became that.
Yeah.
I became someone who's going to be walking half naked with shit coming out of his ass, just rambling to the sky.
Yeah.
I just did it.
Well, and you look at like Jim Morrison, Brian Wilson, all these people that came out of the valley during the MK Ultra thing where acid was involved. And you're like, well, that worked out well for all of them. I mean, they're dead. Brian Wilson didn't get out of bed for 40 years. It's just terrifying.
Yeah, I'll never forget. One night after work, I took an Uber home from the city, and I was just hanging my head out the window to like get air because I was like, I can't breathe. I can't, like, everything looks fucked up, and it was just nonstop panic, and it's this inescapable feeling that I had fucked my brain up. And this is never going away, and I'm done for. I'm gonna end up in a mental institution. I won't be able to do anything. And it was so fucking scary.
It's terrifying, man. I peaked for 7 days once, and I want to say I came down after 10, and it was the worst experience of my life.
That was easily the worst mental experience of my life, where there's nowhere to go. You can't escape your own brain, and there's nothing you can take. You realize, and everything I was reading online were these people that were living with this, like, they're like, I've been like this for years and it won't go away. So I'm reading these horror stories,
panicking,
and there's no like, oh, well, you can take this medicine, or if you smoke weed again, or if you do I smoked weed once and it made everything 1,000,000 times worse.
Oh yeah.
Like the panic feeling, I felt like I was having a fucking heart attack.
Yeah, nothing helps panic like panic.
Yeah.
It's really just to put more panic, especially the weed now, which is just like super panic on top of that. It's terrifying. I couldn't do it. And then people will say, like, I talked about that on my show a little while ago, and they're like saying, like, well, you could have done orange juice. I'm like, what the fuck are you? No, you can't.
I know.
Like, you could, like, they'll name all these things like I'm wrong, and I'm like, okay, which one of us has done more acid? So which one of us do you think tried to get out of their trip that was going bad more? It was me.
Orange juice, dude. I couldn't even drink like caffeine because it would make me feel way worse.
Yeah, dude.
The only thing that worked was just being dry completely, eating like grilled chicken. Like even my diet, I stripped to bare bones. Like it was the only thing that I eventually started feeling normal again was after I just did nothing for months.
Yeah.
The only fix. And it's a terrifying thing. Nobody ever talks about it when they're talking about how fun acid and shrooms are. It's that like, oh no, you can just fuck your brain up and be in a constant state of panic for a few months.
Well, what bothers me about shrooms now, it's like the same as ketamine. When I have therapists who are like, have you tried microdosing? And I'm like, no, I've just taken a whole bag, which is kind of why I'm in therapy right now. But it's amazing that when I was young, I was dealing with depression, and it turns out I was medicating myself with all the proper things that are coming out now. It's like, oh, you use ketamine to treat depression? Oh, you use mushrooms. That's interesting. So you're saying the thing that I used to make my reality different because I was in pain treats depression? That's another, well, fuck my tits moment.
I think I might have known that.
Yeah, it's like, boy, if I had only figured that out. It's like I cracked that science when I was 14.
Yeah, I don't feel good. I should probably alter my state. I'm a genius.
Yeah, right.
I'm a doctor.
Who knew I needed to go to med school to find out such an interesting? Will drinking a bit make me feel more socially unnerved?
Try this Jack Daniels. It'll make you feel confident and full of chutzpah.
Did you ever try ayahuasca?
Oh God,
I did. Yeah, but I didn't.
Did you try it to try to get over addictions like that way, or you just tried it for fun?
I just tried it because I heard about it for that reason, but it never really had much of an effect on me.
Oh, okay.
I've heard it's beneficial to people, though.
Yeah, me
beneficial,
too.
But I've also heard that people go off the fucking deep end. It's another psychedelic thing where it's like, yeah, you could also lose your fucking mind and end up like some people change for the better and they turn their life around because they're depressed and they move. But some people change they're in a mental institution now because they lost it and they can't think straight anymore. Like
no, so many of those things are such a problem because it was like when they made the fake weed and they were like, you can't have real weed, but you can have this. And then a kid kills his grandma. Or it's like you can't have cocaine, but here's bath salts, and a dude's literally eating another man's face on the Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah, remember that whole scourge or whatever? The bath salts? That kind of went away, thank God.
Yeah, I think once they saw the eating the face thing, can you imagine just rolling it down thinking you're being a good Samaritan, giving someone $1, and then they just eat your face? Like you've got to think it's like 28 days later. There's no other thought you could be having.
But can you imagine being so awesomely high that you eat someone's face?
And now for him, I think it was good.
But living this awesome like video game life. He's Pac-Man.
Just walking down the highway, chewing a nose. Blood just
waka, 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 waka.
I'm eating the ghost.
Yeah. I'm saving you guys. You might not know it, but I am.
I had a big thing and now he's all blue and white.
Yeah, drugs are awesome.
They are. I mean, the funny thing is, I'm reading the part of your book where you're stealing Valium and Percocet and shit, and I was kind of jealous. Like, wow, I wish I had that hookup. That must have been awesome,
dude. It was great. I mean, thank God it wasn't in the early 2000s, or I would have gone to prison when they actually started. Well, they didn't start caring. They just realized they accidentally addicted an entire country to synthetic heroin. But at the time it was good.
Yeah, the best. Asian sumo wrestler with AIDS is back to say happy birthday.
Is that at me?
Yes.
It's
Happy
not my
birthday,
birthday.
Dave.
Maybe one of my social things has the wrong birthday on it. But thank you.
We're just big about birthdays on this show, so I guess
Yeah.
I just
Oh.
wanted to make sure we didn't miss yours.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The JW. Hi, JW. Dave, bring these guys when you come to Greenville.
I would love it if they came to Greenville.
What's the Greenville?
Greenville, South Carolina. I'm going to be doing the Comedy Zone. And I
Oh.
believe a former employer of ours is going to come into the show as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Anthony is.
As well as one Dr. Steve, or as you'd say, Dr. Jeeve.
Dr. Fluid.
Dr. Fluid. I love him. He's a good man.
He really is. He's
Yeah.
so helpful to everyone. He's just like, here's my email. If you have any problems, just not even just people on the air or whatever. He's just like any fan, anyone you need help. Here's my email. Reach
Dude,
out.
he helped me a lot of stuff. Even when my kid had an issue for a second health wise and we couldn't figure it out, he figured it out in like 10 minutes. Then I went to the doctor and I was like, it's this, and then it was. It's like he's an unbelievably intelligent guy.
It really is.
I think Bobby emailed him or texted him when I had an infection in my balls, and he gave some helpful advice.
Oh, okay.
It was very nice of him.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. It's one of those things. If you just jerk off for too long and don't come, you get an infection, apparently. Curtis John says, Dave is one of the most underrated comedians out there. I'd say he's pretty rated. Everybody loves Dave. So quick with a comedic response, like Ant and Jim, great off the cuff. Dave, Gino is still gay.
Well, I appreciate all that. I did know the last part, but I thank you very much. I do appreciate that a lot.
I think the follow-up to that is from Sean, who says, Dave, please say Gino is gay.
Gino is gay. Awesome.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And we'll cap it all off with this from Gecko Dundee. Great episode, dudes.
Thank you,
thank you, Gecko.
Yeah.
Nice.
So go out and buy Dave's book,
Please.
Party of One. It's easy read. I don't want to say it's a quick read because it's not a small book, but it's just like you just fly through it. It's so easy to get through and like just fun. And
You're not reading a like arduous fucking story.
No.
It is someone telling you, like you hear it in Dave's voice. It's him just telling you, yeah, here's some fucked up stuff I did. Here are the details of the fucked up things my friends did.
And
it's just a fun list, like fun read.
It's easier too for you to put yourself in it and use your mind to vision when you were young. There's nothing more I hate when I grab a book, especially because I like memoirs, and then you have like seriously 4 pages describing a morning, and you're like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I bought this because you do heroin. Just get to that part.
Like The Dirt by Motley Crue, another great book. Just
That's a great book.
All about their fuck ups or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes right into it. Even Tommyland is good. It's written from the point of view of his dick. But it's like they're fun to read. Like a lot of them are just they hit you like they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Slash is I like Slash a lot, but part of it's like, so I was at Cantor's and I was getting the Reuben, and you're like, dude, what?
Who cares? Yeah.
You have a pacemaker from too much coke.
Well, he does?
Yeah, he's had a pacemaker forever.
Oh, wow.
From
I
just
didn't know
blowing a hole in his heart from cocaine.
And yeah, there's nothing in this book that's like over detail, like, oh, I don't need to care about this. If anything, I want to know more.
Yeah.
Like I reread the description of what you fuckers did to that house twice because I just couldn't get over the amount of destruction in one place was insane.
Yeah, worst trip to Hawaii I think they had ever.
I can't imagine. I hope for their sake, even though I'm sure they got a phone call from the cops saying there's people in your house, but I hope they at least got to enjoy a chunk of being in Hawaii before they returned home to hell, where they had to pay more than their house was worth in damages to fix the house.
Dude, when I went in there after insurance covered it and we had finally got along again, I'm like, wow, this is nice. You got a nice looking, and she's just like, shut the fuck up. Like I'm trying to be complimentary, and it wasn't like a part of the house was done. It was like, you have a new home.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Don't you think it's nice? Yes, all the family heirlooms are gone or vandalized, but
nobody thanked me for vacuuming.
Yeah,
the carpet looks nice.
I noticed your chimney's pushed back in the wall, so that was fixable.
It's really not even something I thought possible. I thought like it was part of the house. Like the chimney's built into the foundation of the house.
My dad sold the house I grew up in, and they knocked it down. The people who bought it, the only thing they left was the chimney. It's there. It's permanently there.
Yeah. Dude, to this day, I will never forget it because I was just staring at it, going like, "How? Like what? Like how many people agreed to this?"
Bruce Banner was here.
Yeah. I'll never understand. And every video game and everything was gone, but they left the controlless system.
Extremely considerate.
Yeah. Just the Nintendo 64. Everything else gone.
Games and controllers gone. But hey,
gone.
You could just buy new games and controllers. You have the system.
Yeah.
You should have checked in the little slot. They must have taken a shit in the N64.
I'm sure.
No way they left it alone.
No. I'm sure the second they put a game in there, it was a real problem.
Well, thank you, Dave, for coming on. It's been a fun time. Yeah.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Very, very nice seeing your face. We miss you.
Likewise. Well, we'll see you guys soon.
Will do. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much.
Later, Dave.
Later.
Oh, what a wonderful time.
Yeah.
I could talk to Dave all day and all night. Such a fun guy. Now we gotta fucking switch speeds completely.
Oh my god!
Juxtaposition, flip over to talking to gay old Gino, who I'll admit, I'm not gonna tell him this when he gets here, but I'll admit I have missed him since we haven't seen him in a few weeks now. But
it's nice that you did.
Not gonna tell him that. I miss Gino is a fun guy to hang out with, but man. Inconsiderate, gay,
bum,
homosexual, gay, inconsiderate. So,
bum.
If he shows up here with no cigarettes,
out.
I think I'm going to grab him by the belt and top of the shirt. I'm going to heave him down the stairs.
Like Detective Dan did to Dave Landau.
Yes. Give him the Dan treatment. Well, thank you all for watching. Thank you for hanging out with us for over 3 hours. That was very considerate of you. I think it's about time we play our board song and switch over to hockey mode.
We don't have that much time.
Or we could watch Adell Dazeem's.
We should call Gino up and be like, listen, Dave went long. We can't do the show tonight.
We got drunk with Dave at Sullivan's. And the hockey show is not going to happen tonight. Boltman's going to have to spend yet perfect, actually, storyline for Boltman. He's just been in prison for about a month now. So, I can't wait to see what he's been up to. But thank you to our board members. For without you, there'd be no Dave Landau. He wouldn't exist, simply. There'd be no board. You wouldn't be bored. So thank you very much for all you contribute.
We appreciate you.
And all of your help with the podcast. This song is for you.
Caitlin Kant, Mama Reno, Edie Cuddy, Nick Giordano, Charlie Chicago, Deadpool, Jeremy Stock, Marshall Bo Pre, The Moose Pete, Fitzy, Dominic, Riccatelli, Josh Words, Mike Ligayo, Mitchell, Chris Berg, Jimmy Z, Gana, Gecko Dundee, Daniel Mundy, Gay Bitches, Connor Beck, Jeff Dodge, Jones 7-3, Michael Malice, Curtis John, William Yoder, Brian, Kate, Ga, Jeffrey the Giraffe, Stan Turner, 9X Support, Matt Bugatti, Asia S. Thompson, Old Youngie Bob, Fan Up, Patrice, Doogie, 7626, Justin Ford, Garrett, J. Thomas, Larry F. Boob, Turk, Angelo, Mark, Doug, Gratz, Litz, Cynthia, Jersey, Just, Eric, Leister, Mass, Lucy, Clara, Rocky Pantozi, Jose Delgado, Jay Stews, Cluster Payne, Jam Man, Jay Nate, Gina Marie, Beverly, Jay Quan G, Johnny, Heather, the Hooker, Zoe, Nathan, Mark Lucas, AJR, Michael J, Burnsy, and Harold Pooh's Channel 666. Lindsay, Sabadoo, Steve's Ass, This, Jigger, Netsit, Aaron Kraft, Vinny Cash. These people paid $100.
Go get Dave's book.
Party of One.
Mm-hmm.
Party of Fun.
And what'd you pay for it? $15?
Yes.
Yeah.
15 beanerines.
So, and I don't know if like Jamie has some sort of Kindle subscription or because you have Prime, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so because I got it for $10 somehow, but Jamie might have some like Kindle.
Well, you got the digital copy.
No, but it was $15, but because of some sort of, I don't know if Jamie has some membership to Kindle that I got it for 10. So yeah.
Well, if anybody wants to buy it through Jamie, hit up Garrett. You can get it on the cheap.
Give me $11.
Yeah.
And I'll give it to you for $10. Yeah.
All right, Crody. Time for us to fizzle fap and get the wobbles out of here on the first link.
See you guys soon.
Yes, tune in to Gino Bisconti's Rumble page to watch the hockey show.
Bye.
If not, we'll see you Monday.
We love you.